He broke it already.
Oh no, oh
We can
no,
all
oh
go
gosh,
home
oh
now.
no.
Oh no no no.
There we go.
No,
Hello.
no,
Okay, I
no.
had the wrong microphone set.
Oh, that's a lot of Dan's talking in my ear at once.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Hi. Hello, everyone. This is our special, The Anchored session. We'll be playing a game called Follow, not our usual dungeon world. But first, let's go around and introduce ourselves. We'll go again in the order of the listing on Roll20. So I am Dan, also known as the Wraith, and I'm technically not GM because this is a GM-less game. I will be a player, but also probably helping to guide a lot of what's going on here. Next.
I am Chris, also known as Chasix, and I'll be playing Brack and a suburban housewife, Iridia. Demathos is the next one. Yeah.
I am. Hey, I'm Scott, also known as Hawkeye 4124. And I am playing two characters, one of which is Moments Mathos, and the other one, which is a really, really murderous Fwit.
Normal foot.
It's not gonna be normal, I promise you. Be
All right,
far from normal.
I'm Eric, also known as Guy Fox 88, and I will be playing a not so murderous Fwit, and then also a collective group of murderous Fwits.
I am Day, or your local N7 if you prefer. I'm gonna play Eventide's Zahida, War Hero Zahida, and I'm also gonna play Peacekeeper Zahida. So she got sick of everybody's shit.
And I am AJ, playing two Iridias, one of which was stolen, but we don't need to get into that, and the other is just real dumb. So, yep.
Fantastic. And I'm gonna kind of decide what I'm
Normal
playing.
Iridia.
I'm gonna kind of decide what I'm playing when we settle out everything, so we can get some more characters represented here. Okay. So we are playing, as explained, a game called Follow. And the way this works is we go on a quest together. So for the purposes of this game, we are going to be playing a quest that the game system calls the Colony, in which we are going to build a colony and make it flourish. So that's our step one. We're gonna skip over step 2 for a second because we're gonna talk about our characters. So let's do this. Let's go through our list here, and we're gonna write this stuff out on our page here, so we have everything here. So let's start with Brack, and let's go through. So the way this works is everybody's going to have a main character and a minor character. Let me just read through some of the rulebook here, just to get us all on the same page. The group of characters working together to complete the quest is called the Fellowship. We'll each have two characters, a main character and a minor character. Both are part of the Fellowship, but our story is about our main characters. As you choose your characters, complete each step together and discuss your choices so everyone knows what the other members of the Fellowship are like. When you pick details about your character, you're telling the other players who those are the themes you want to explore in the game. Follow the steps on the next page, blah, blah, blah. We're not doing it exactly like that, but that's fine. So, first, who are you? What's your main character's role in the Fellowship? Pick from the list on the quest sheet or make one up. You must be part of the Fellowship, and you must want to succeed at the quest, though that might change later on. Pick a name, blah, blah, blah. Write the name and concept on both sides of the card that we don't have. So we're going to write names and your kind of role based on the quest, and then after that, we want to write what we want from the quest. So we all want the quest to succeed, but what does your main character want from the quest? It could be something you would get out of your success, or how you want us to fulfill the quest. Or to put it another way, why are you on the quest? Pick from the examples on the quest sheet or make up your own. For example, our quest is to cure a disease. One character is in it for the fame. They want the credit for the breakthrough. Another character wants the cure to be available to everyone. That's how they want the Fellowship to carry out the quest. No two characters should want exactly the same thing. If you choose the same thing, discuss until you find the difference that sets you apart. Don't worry about picking the perfect answer, just grab something that makes sense and you run with it. This is a starting point for your character, but as you play, you might get what you want, give up or move on entirely to new things before the quest is over. Then your main character starts off with a difficult relationship with the character to your left. We'll fiddle with that a little bit, but pick something you want from them that's important to you, but which they are unwilling to give you. Choose from the examples on the quest sheet or make up your own. Discuss with the other player to flesh out the details. Why do they refuse? Is there history between your characters? What do you think of each other? Your choice tells the other players what kind of tension you want to have between your characters. It should be something both players are happy with and interested in exploring, even if the characters hate it. So basically that'll form like a ring. So, like my character is going to want something from Chris's character is going to want something from from Scott's character, and so on and so forth.
So you're saying that there's a fellowship and there's a ring.
Ah, man.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
I'd say we're
Actually-
taking the long way around.
And then each player makes their minor character, who is also part of the Fellowship. Just pick a concept and name and give a brief description. Don't create once. Our minor characters are supporting cast, and some of them will almost certainly be lost if our quest takes difficult turns. This says good choices to make a character who is connected to one of the other main characters across the table from you, or will mostly interact with them. Avoid making a minor character who will primarily interact with your own main character, so you don't wind up needing to talk to yourself. I feel like that might end up happening, but that's, it's fine. So, let's go through each of those things. So we want character and their role, what you want from the quest, and let's start with those two, get everybody down, and then we'll move around and talk about who wants what from whom.
Are you writing this down, or are you...
I'm gonna record all this in our Roll20 sheet here. Let's see, how big is 16 font? That's very small. We're gonna go. That's very large. That's still pretty big.
In the middle.
Maybe one more down. Okay, so. Great. Wait, why did it... No, why have you done this?
I can't believe you've done this.
I can't. All right, anyway, Chris, so who would you like to play as your main character?
I think Black Ops Brack is going to be my main character.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So that is not one of the ones I have on my list, correct?
I don't believe so.
Okay, great. Do you have a name for Black Ops Brack? So basically, the naming conventions I've been going with here is that everything is based off of some kind of time thing, whether it's like a time of day, a measurement of time, or something to that effect.
So not FBI Special Agent Brack?
No, generally not.
He would not be FBI. He would be CIA.
But still a special agent.
Yes. I think 12 o'clock's Brack is what I'm gonna call him.
12 o'clocks.
Yeah,
I
always with
mean,
the S. Is that okay?
12.
How about
12
Black
o'clocks.
Masses? Black Masses, Brack?
Black masses? Is that why?
Yeah,
I don't understand. Sorry, I don't
that's
understand why this.
midnight.
Do you want it? Okay.
Black Mass.
I feel like these are very. I don't understand why.
2Ks, always 2Ks. Thank you.
Always 2Ks. Okay, so if we then go and look at, did I pull up? Yes. If you go to the colony, since that's the quest we're playing, they have a couple sort of example character concepts. None of this is stuff we have to use. These are more just like ideas if you want. But what do you see as being their kind of role?
Where do I find the colony?
It's in the latter half of the book. They have a whole section with all the quests.
Many pages. Wait, I saw it. I see it.
Okay, actually, here's a good opportunity to say while you're sort of finding that and everything. So we're playing the colony. Which says we're on a new world far from home and there's no turning back. We must build a colony and make sure it survives and thrives. So for anyone who has no idea what's going on, go listen, watch to the what did I call it? Story catch up story time, episode 3.5 that I put up. That gives a sort of a background on what is going on with the people referring to themselves as the Anchored. So at this point that we're sort of starting this game, this is basically after the party had gone back to the temples and gotten the ship and left, because that's kind of when you guys were like, I forget who it was exactly, but was like, yeah, hey, maybe we should let you guys, kind of, because you had initially sort of tasked them with like trying to reconstruct the ship for you, the smaller ship, and you were like, hey, maybe we should get you to spend some time sort of like setting up here so you can have a home since you're kind of stuck here. So these are all people that are sort of ripped from their own realities or something. We haven't really explored exactly what that means. Maybe we'll get to that at some point here. We don't know, but they're all here and they're all stuck here. So that is what we are doing here. So you all have been here for, trying to think, how long was it from when you first left the temples to when you came back? Because you just went to...
Wasn't it like a week's travel? Wouldn't have been like 2 weeks then?
Yeah, that sounds right. Because where did you go after you left the temples? You went back up to New Water Nest, is that right?
Yeah, we went to New Water Nest and we saw it was getting attacked. We were like, you know what would help? Our
Big
ass
ass ship.
Oh,
fucking
third
ship.
shoulder is where you went to third shoulder
Or
because you
yeah,
were looking
Third Shoulder,
to get the merchant people, and then you came back with Gantis Gentish and some others, and with a crew.
Senior shiny boots.
Senior shiny boots. What do we call him? The cowboy pirate. Anyway.
yeah, Cowboy Pirate.
Yeah. So that probably was about sort of a couple weeks. So all of these people have sort of been here for a couple weeks already. So there's enough time for people to kind of get to know each other a little bit. I'm envisioning this as being basically a group of somewhere in the area of like 120 to 150 initially. Some of them probably got killed in the battle by the big hammer-wielding cartographer before you guys all killed him. Less than like 150, but that's kind of the sort of number I'm thinking. So like basically like 20 to 30 or somewhere in between versions of each of the 5. Just to give you all an idea of how many people are here. Great. Any other things I should talk about there, or does that make sense? Great. Okay, so tell me about Black Masses Brack. What is your role?
I think the role that he sees himself as is like if they keep talking about like everybody else keeps talking about wanting to make this place like its own city, and he wants to be like the secret police of that city. Like the person who if and when outsiders start coming to this place, he's going to be the guy who, if they step out of line, makes them disappear.
Okay. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of that kind of thing based on what people have been saying they want to play as characters, but maybe we can circle back around and see what each people want.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of people disappearing from this city.
That's entirely possible. And what is it that Black Masses Brack wants from this quest? What do you want out of making this place a city?
The same thing he's always wanted: is stability and order.
Okay.
We're not gonna get along.
So yeah, and when each of you are kind of thinking about these once, I think also keep in mind the part of the story where you guys were just like suddenly pulled from whatever they think is their own reality or whatever into this random battle with these magical creature beings, and then we're sort of told, hey, you're stuck here. So yeah, I can definitely see that stability and order. So for the sake of our other sheet here, give me like a quick rundown of kind of the things that you know to be true about this character. Like, what are some of the sort of the backstory beats, I guess, of this character in specifically in terms of what makes him different than quote unquote Prime Brack. Brack Prime.
Brack Prime. Well, Brack Prime was brought up as a surgeon and then became a poacher to feed people.
Mm-hmm.
Black Masses Brack was recruited into Black Ops as a child. In a very much like, did you ever read the like backstory for Halo and how the military?
Yeah, I
Was
read
basically like
Fall of Reach, the book.
Yeah. So basically, like, just as a child, they were like, "Hey, we need him," and his parents were like, "Okay, for the good of our people."
Uh-huh. As you do.
And so was well indoctrinated into the Balteshi military, and I think he definitely would have been one of those guys on the ship that were about to kill Mathos.
Uh-huh.
At the very beginning of our game.
Well, the Naren, yeah, I know, yeah, the Naren, ambassador guy that was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they tried to kill Mathos, but I don't know that Mathos wasn't their like target.
No.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But yeah, like, you know, can't leave witnesses behind, and people of other countries don't mean a whole lot. But I think in the context of where he is now, and having realized that he's not getting, I think he's rolling with the punches and is currently assuming that he's not getting back home, since none of them can leave. And so he has decided that this is his people.
Great.
And his country that he needs to protect. And everything outside is the enemy.
Approximately
or potentially the enemy.
Approximately how old is Black Masses Brack? Sorry, actually, point there. I have written that Brack Prime is late 20s. I think is what you told me. Does that sound right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, how old is Black Masses Brack?
I think he's 35.
Okay. Mid 30s. Great. Okay, and then we'll come back to want from yous and all that jazz a little later. Okay. Oh wow, that got really small. That's fine.
What have you done?
Okay. Scott, you're up next. Who is your main character?
It is the Moments Mathos.
All right, and give us a rundown of who that is.
I'm just going to read from your bullet points here because
Great.
they fit really well with what I was looking at.
Fantastic.
His father was killed, which drove him to a dark place, leading him to become a pirate and bounty hunter.
So because I remember one of the big points of you talking about it in Mathis' backstory was that you were doing a lot of your work as a smuggler, for kind of like sending money back to your
Correct.
agent
Yes.
father and stuff. How old is Mathis Prime approximately?
Mathos Prime being my main character.
Correct.
I think I said like mid-30s, early 30s.
Okay. And how old do you imagine Moments Mathos?
I'm gonna say like 20
All right.
tops.
So like early 20s or 20. Yeah. Okay. So young.
Yes.
Fantastic. What is Moments Mathos' perceived role in this group?
That's like character concept?
Yeah, I
thing?
mean, kind of what you so like the role examples that they have in the colony are like leader, visionary slash planner, scientist, engineer, technician, doctor, therapist, philosopher, thinker, family homesteader, true believer, rebel, recluse, sorry we came, imposter slash phony.
I think
Sorry,
the one
we
that
came.
most closely resembles what I'm going after is probably Rebel.
Rebel, okay. So what does that kind of mean to you in terms of your relationship with the rest of this group?
He's gonna do what he wants
Okay.
and is not gonna give a shit about anything else.
Okay. So what is it what is it you want from
Moody teenager Mathos.
Yes.
What is it you want from, or what is it Moments Mathos wants from the quest here?
Gold.
So you want the money. So meaning you are looking to take advantage of this sort of colony building experience in order to come out the other side with
Fucking rich.
with the money. Okay. Great. Great. Okay. Then that's everything, right? Next we have Fwit. Eric, who is your main character?
So I'm gonna do the main character as Moonrise's Fwit. I like her being in her late 70s. I like that.
How old is Fwit Prime?
I think we said she was like 32-ish.
Okay. Great. So what's your, I have the thing up here, but what's your take on Moonrise's Fwit here?
I think loving is a little strong, but I would
Okay.
say she's nurturing.
All right, I'll replace that then. So for just for a quick lesson on Obeline societal structure and politics. Let me pull up my. So Obel, the nation that Fwit comes from, is sort of split up into a large portion of the society is split up into these 5 faithhoods that people can be sort of joined into, usually when they're small children, so on and so forth. So the Faithful of Vartir, that our version of Fwit and most of these Fwits are from, is basically Vartir is the more or less the god of like power and justice and judgment and all that kind of stuff. So they are kind of a wing of the military that's like this sort of I mean, for lack of a very reductive, basically like a ninja army. They don't. They take a vow of silence. They all look the same. And there's some other sort of finer points in there, but and then this sort of version of what we're saying was instead of when she was an orphan. Do we ever say what she was when she was a child? Was she like an orphan or?
I mean, me and you have touched on it, but yes, she was an orphan, essentially
Okay.
in an orphanage, and then she was pretty much just
Picked up
taken from
picked up
orphanage
by
at like
the
6 years old.
Yeah, I mean that's like kind of classic faithhood thing. So then the Faithful of Niera, Niera is basically the goddess of like love and creativity and that kind of thing. So the Faithful of Niera are uh, I basically think of them as kind of monks in that they own nothing for themselves, but they just sort of go around. They're sometimes a little more nomadic, but go around and um, help people and serve people, often involving like manual labor and things like that, and some other things in that nature. But just to give a quick rundown on that. Great. Anything else we want to say about that?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Fantastic. So, what does Moonrise's Fawit? What is her role as she sees it in the Fellowship here?
So the concept I was having was almost having her as the polar opposite of Fwit Prime.
Okay.
So I was thinking like some sort of doctor slash nurse. Like she doesn't take lives, she saves them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure.
Me and Eric are inverting.
Yeah.
That's great. Um, so okay, let's call that a caretaker then. How does that
Yeah.
sound? And what is her want? What does she want? Why is she on this quest? I mean, she doesn't have a choice, but what is she looking to get out of it?
I think I don't know, I almost want to say she just wants to leave a positive mark.
Mm,
Like she doesn't want to leave a bad legacy behind.
yeah.
Essentially, she's trying to make up for all of the other versions of Fwit.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's a cool take on that. I find that interesting. Great. Okay, let's move over to Day and Zahida. Who is your main character?
Okay, I'm going to stick with Eventide's Zahida.
Okay.
I'm just reading the points here. Her realities, Hanalon got stuck in whatever war her change it quick. Her father.
Oh, it is
never mind.
father, not grandfather.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yes, father. You're good.
Okay.
Whatever war her father was in, so she too became a hero of the war. Scarred and resilient, but has lost her innocence entirely.
Oh, how old is Zahida Prime?
She's like 21, early 20s.
Great. Okay. Is there anything you want to add to that or change about that? Does late 50s sound good to you there?
Yeah. I don't know if it's really worth a bullet point because I think I can kind of explain it in the wands, but she's tired.
Hmm. Weary of the war, you might say.
Yes, weary of maybe just everything.
Zahida. So what is your role?
Okay, so the roles, do they
I think
uh
mostly just kind of a way to sort of frame their kind of place
yeah.
in the group here.
I'm not sure like leader. I mean that's pretty close, but more um like military general I think would be more like, she's not at the top of the
Mm-hmm.
food chain, but she like is really good at getting people together and towards like a common direction, because she would have becoming a hero in the war, she would have like made her way up the ranks
Yeah.
um, pretty quickly like her dad. So
Yeah, I kind of in general have been thinking of Eventide Zahida, as I say on here, Aeon's Iridia, and Tomorrow's Brack as kind of being a sort of kind of three-person sort of leadership-ish. That they've been the
ooh, a
three that have kind of,
triumvirate.
yeah, perhaps you might call it that. That they've been kind of the ones that people have begun sort of looking to.
So I would say, yeah, leader is it's kind of general, but close enough.
Yeah, we'll say sort of general slash leader. And what does she want out of the quest?
Okay, so do they are these things that were like constantly like other people have to know them?
No, not necessarily. And this is even something that can change over the course of this. This is just kind of what, in terms of her sort of thinking of like, hey, we're gonna sort of build a home here. What is it specifically in that or about that sort of gets you to be a part of that?
I like the like tame the land and build a proud city, but glory, that's like too, maybe like community is a better
Okay.
um like term for that. Like she's just like, you know what, we're here, we might as well. I mean, this
So
is my family now. They have like it's
yeah. So
we have to build something successful,
build a
or otherwise we'll
community
all
here.
die. Yes.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, and I mean that kind of jives with uh my kind of thought and understanding of Hanaline thing to anyway. Like a
Yeah.
Hanaline military person is not necessarily someone that's going to be like out there for the the glory and the
Right.
that kind of thing. So yeah, great. I dig that. All right, and then lastly, let's jump over to AJ. What is your main character?
Yeah, well, let's just say this entire time I've been trying to figure that out
If
since I
you let's talk it out then. So you in the main game play Orn, and Orn was not here at this point, so we don't have copies of Orn. Um, so um, I mean, uh, it might not be a bad idea to have our three sort of leaders here represented. If either of the other two of those appeals you at all. Um, if not, that's not a huge deal, but that's somewhere you can start from. What are you kind of thinking along the lines of right now?
Well, I wanted to do Iridia because right now that's the only character that hasn't been
Mm-hmm.
chosen, so I think that that's a good idea. Um, I can just do this uh this uh Iridia that you have set up here already.
Which one? The Aeon Iridia?
Yes.
Okay.
So never went back to Daenerys when her brother became ill. Stayed studying in Krivendar instead, and became one of the most renowned scholars of all time.
So yeah, so just a quick, since we haven't really talked about Iridia a ton, um, So she's from Naris, and she would have left home to go study in a neighboring nation. Well, it's not neighboring. Never mind. In the nation of Krivendar, which is a big sort of like, they're big on their knowledge and order and that kind of stuff. So they have some of the best universities and those sorts of things. So she went and studied there for a while, and then our sort of Iridia Prime then found out that her father back home was becoming ill. Her father was a jeweler, so she left the school, the universities, and went back home to take up the trade. With her father and sort of help him with the business, and then eventually her father passed away, and she took over, and that's kind of when she became the version of herself that she is. That she's sort of this tinkerer jeweler with a scholarship kind of background, who travels in kind of high society and that sort of thing. So this kind of version of that is someone who never went back when she found out her father was ill, so stayed and studied and became this highly renowned scholar. And then I think as a byproduct of that, the other part to that is that she's haunted by that choice, especially after she would have found out her father had died. I would imagine that was something that would weigh on her pretty heavily. Is there anything else you want to throw in there as you're sort of feeling this out a little bit?
Nope, that's pretty good.
All right. So what is Aeon's Iridia role?
So,
Aeon's
are those
Iridia's
written
role.
out somewhere that I can see them, or are they?
They are in. If you pull up the PDF of the follow thing, I have that posted in the Discord.
I do have it pulled up.
If you go to the latter half of the book where it lists all the quests, if you find the colony one,
Page 51.
there you go.
Page numbers on your.
Okay, the colony. I clicked on it.
There's then that list of character concepts. That's just a bunch of examples.
Wait. Where do you see that?
Like the middle of the page there.
On page 51.
Yeah, it should say like the colony, and then it's like.
Hey, look at that.
customized. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we can do maybe scientist.
Yeah, we could do that. I trying to think because, yeah, I mean, scientists could definitely work.
I mean, what did she study?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I'm willing to open that up a little bit. I mean, I guess for thinking of her as being kind of one of the sort of the leaders of this group, my initial sort of lean here is towards something along the lines of that, like sort of visionary planner kind of a thing. But I think the scientist could also work because I think we've established her sort of already as being one that's doing a lot of research in terms of trying to figure out like how the relic. I think she was the one that sort of figured some of that out, how that works and how they're stuck here and that sort of thing. So I could see the scientist there as well.
Yeah, I just see like I mean, I'd be fine with either of those. But even like the short time that like playing with Prime Iridia, like the stuff that she did, like everything she like made it, and I don't know, it just seems kind of
Yeah.
sciencey.
Yeah. So this is definitely a version of Iridia without nearly as much as the kind of physical craftiness, because she never went back to the sort of the family jewelry business, because the craftsmanship is a very Naren thing, not this Krivendir
Gotcha.
thing. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the science and the more sort of heady things and there's a word I'm trying to think of, the theoretics of things and all that kind of stuff. So what? Yeah. So I just put in scientist slash leader. What is her want out of this? What does she want out of building a community?
Maybe escape.
Okay, escape from what?
Escape from that like haunt from
Mm, okay.
betrayal of her family. Like almost like doing this would make up for that.
Okay.
Like because this is like a new family. Considering
Interesting. Okay, yeah. I can totally see that. So it's less of a um it's sort of a redirected focus in a way. Is that
right,
what you're kind of going for? Okay.
right, which I assume is the same reason why she stayed in Krivendar was to redirect focus. It's just like doing it again, but
Mm,
this time thinking that it's the right thing,
yeah.
but it's still not.
Yeah, sure. Um yeah, I mean I can definitely see that kind of thing where if you've absorbed so much information and sort of learned it's like this kind of people who I've known some people like this who just like keep going back to school like over and over again, like, oh, I need to get a degree in this now, I know I need to get a I'm gonna get back in. And I think
Right.
there's something to be said for that kind of thing in terms of like wanting to keep learning things and keep doing something new, and especially in like a sort of more kind of medieval fantasy setting, I'm sure there's only like so much you can uh, get there from a learning perspective. And so to have something like this where she's like, hey, here's all this, new stuff and magic, and we're like right smack in the middle of this crazy cartographer stuff that's all going on. Let me sort of dive into this and give that my full focus as a way to um, yeah, to get away from that guilt. Great. So I will put in escape from guilt. Great. Okay, so now that we've got all of our main characters here, let's go through and do the what want from you. So this is pick something you want from this other character that's important to you, but which they are unwilling to give you. I mean, this is supposed to be like people sitting around a table, and it's the person to your left. But I'm willing to sort of let this kind of circle around in whatever order. Um, so, does anybody have? Sorry, I keep doing that. Does anybody have any um, ideas off the bat in terms of like, hey, this would be a good because again, this is a sort of a thing of at least a partially kind of contentious relationship. So, Day, it sounds like you have something.
Possibly, unless somebody else, uh, if somebody else fits better with this, then that's totally fine. But Eventide, Zahida, and Moments Mathos,
Mm-hmm.
she would definitely be like, "Why are you not? Why can you not just do what people are asking? Please, for the love of God, just take some responsibility and help out."
Yeah. So is that responsibility specifically that you want?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the responsibility. I could be doing more, or you could be doing more.
Right.
She's like trying to get him to like be a part of the community, and
A
he just
productive
does
member of
whatever
society.
he wants. Yeah, and he just does whatever he wants whenever he wants to.
So, Scott, why is Moments Mathos unwilling to give that?
Scott.
Hello?
Oh, I was muted. My exact words were "fuck these people."
Great. Sounds good to me. Okay, so that is that's number one. So let's jump over to Mathis then. What do you want from someone else that they are unwilling to give you?
Their money.
Anybody's money.
Literally anybody's money.
Your money, their
Literally,
money,
just
my
give me
money.
your gold and I will leave, and you will never see me again.
Where you gonna go, idiot?
Don't care. I'm gonna be rich, bitch.
True, you can't leave.
Ah, the early 20s.
Where you gonna go? You don't know anybody but us.
Don't need nobody.
I just need one of the other Mathises to call this Mathos an asshole, and that'll be the whole game for me.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly don't need to stick to the stuff on the list here. I'm definitely not taking any of that as the only options. I think I want something a little bit more specific than just
Money.
money.
My goal is money, and I want their money.
Because I think I would like to try and make this a little more character specific.
That is the most character-specific thing this Mathos
I mean,
wants.
the want from another character specifically, like why you want it from that character specifically, and not like any of the other ones.
Oh, I mean, he doesn't. He just.
I mean, this can be.
He wants all the money. Like, I don't know how to stress this enough. He is not here for any sympathy from anybody. He wants nothing but gold.
Could you make a case that like just to like help out Scott, that like my Iridia like has more money than the others, so Scott would want mostly from me then? Just like if you want
That's entirely possible. I guess the other thing to sort of throw into the consideration here is any money you're bringing with you, if you have, that you happen to have on your person from Tandara, means nothing here.
knowledge is money.
I mean, so that's a thing.
'Cause knowledge is power.
That's a thing to sort of think about in terms of like what is valuable here.
If he's obsessed with money, he probably thinks that he's going back at some point. He's like, "No,
that's
I'm going
also
back."
possible.
They
And
can't
when I
keep me
go
locked
back,
up here
I'll
forever.
be rich. I mean, Iridia and Mathos already, a regular Iridia and Mathos have a contentious relationship anyways. Or maybe not contentious, but antagonistic.
Sure.
Probably it.
I should also decide who I am playing as, because that's going to give us options here as well. I guess I should do. Let me do tomorrow's. I'll do tomorrow's Brack, being the other sort of leader of the group here.
The leader of the bunch.
The leader of the pack.
Yeah, and this, you know what? This is. Thank you for picking scientist leader, because this guy is definitely the. I think this is the sort of the visionary, inspirational sort of leader.
You're welcome.
And what does he want from this? I'm open to any suggestions, Chris, since this is Brack. But this is, so I guess to go through this, this is an older version of Brack, so I have about 50s, who back home sort of became a leader in the war, and as I have written, pushed hard on his commitment to the collective, which is a very Balteshi thing, becoming almost completely negligent of his own needs. He's heroic and extremely dedicated to the cause, whatever it is. So... You know what I'm gonna do? I think his want is to sacrifice for the good of the group community.
Mm.
I think that is what he wants. Okay. Any more thoughts there, Scott, for this?
For what?
For the wants from somebody? In terms of thinking about what's valuable and what's anything there?
I mean, I don't know what I could want from anybody in this group that's not money. I know that's very one track, but literally his character is built about being a pirate and thieving and murdering and not giving a shit about anybody else's needs.
Mm-hmm. How does he feel about basically being stuck here, not only in this world, but in like the immediate area of this tower?
He's not happy about the tower thing, but this world he has nothing left back on the home world anyway.
Mm.
So this is a chance for him to just take everything that he feels he's owed and start a new life.
So that feels to me like a something in your want, that you want, like depending on what terms that we put, but like a sort of a new opportunity here in this new world. As well, because I mean, sort of, my feeling is that money seems like a sort of a means to an end, right? Like I feel like in a lot of cases, people want money because the money can get them something else.
More money.
Right? Like, I mean, is that like,
for it.
I want money so I can have freedom, so that I can not have anybody else telling me what to do. If you're thinking sort of along a pirate line, or I want money so that I can, have power. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
See, I don't know that I would say it's a power thing,
yeah, I don't.
because that doesn't really fit. He doesn't want to be in charge of people.
Yeah.
He just wants to steal. He literally just wants to take what isn't his and make it his.
Okay.
So he's just a one-note klepto.
Yes.
Great. So then, I think if we have that as your kind of want, I think then, especially having been here for a couple weeks or so, I can see something something that you want from somebody else, being somewhere along the lines of like, I want this other person to like get off my back, or I want them to leave me alone so that I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can work with that. That's fine. Just leave me the fuck alone. And
Yeah, yeah.
Don't stick your nose in my business, because it is my business and not yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's cool. So who do you think is sticking their face in your business that you
Oh,
want them
that's
out?
definitely gonna be motherly Zahida.
Does that sound good to you, Dale?
Hey, she's not motherly. She just wants you to get a haircut and get a real job.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh.
Fuck off my shit, mom.
So I think you want freedom. Is a good way to put it. Does that sound good to you? From
Sure. If that moves this forward, yes.
Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong person. That is. Oh wait, sorry. This is. Who did you say that was for?
That's Mathos?
No. Who is the one you were wanting that from? Did I get the wrong person?
I don't know. I'm not watching Roll20.
Who did you say? Who
I
did you say
want
originally?
freedom from Zahida.
Zahida. Okay, because she's because you said the mother person, which is the Fawit is the caretaker person here.
Oh. Okay, then yes. Then Fawit. I knew one of them was motherly.
Okay. I mean, I guess Zahida is the one that wants,
Need to
especially
take
because
responsibility.
yeah, because that would be going straight back and
So
forth.
I
from
mean,
each
either
other,
one
which
it fits, but I feel like just going back and forth with the two of us is gonna be
yeah.
old hat.
So let's do that from Moonrise's Fawit. Oh, actually, I should also say that this is not. This is hard to see. This should be moons, plural, rises. Fawit. Yeah. So does that sound good to you, Eric? For Fawit, that
Yeah.
she's got her kind of nose in his business, at least to an extent.
Yeah.
Trying to nurture him, and he doesn't want anything. Doesn't want any of it. So why is it that you don't want? Why is it that you are unwilling to give him his own sense of freedom?
Because he needs to help out.
Bullshit.
Getting this a lot, yeah.
Get a
Nobody
job.
helped when my family was murdered.
Great. All right. So, Eric, what does Moonrise's Fawit want from someone?
I mean, that was actually pretty much what I was gonna go for. She was gonna want Mathos to actually contribute.
Okay. I mean, we already have that coming from Eventide Zahida, and I think we want to kind of keep the circle going here, ideally.
All right. So that means I'll fuck with Brack.
We've got
Which,
two.
but
We've
which
got
one?
two Bracks to pick from right now.
So we
I might be able to help you.
I also have an idea if you're looking for him.
Okay. Let's
Give us the pitch. Yeah, Chris, give us the pitch, and then I'll give mine.
Okay, so I'm thinking that mine, I'm thinking my want is from Eventide Zahida for her to let me do my job, which is to take care of problems.
Okay.
And specifically that he sees Moments Mathos as a potential problem.
Okay.
Maybe? I don't know. And then that gives, if, Moonrise's Fawit is actually trying to help Moments Mathos become a better person, their want might be something to do with keeping me from
literally icing him.
yeah, just pushing him out a door into the sunlight and letting him shrivel up like a like a worm on the sidewalk.
That's good. I like that. I do though think if you feel that want strongly, specifically to Eventide Zahida, maybe we should leave you kind of in that spot and wrap around to you. Does that make sense? So I'm sort of like trying to organize these in a circle right now, so we can see how that works. So if Eventide Zahida is going to Moments Mathos and Moments Mathos is
Right.
going to Moonrise's Fawit, if you specifically want
Then-
that from Eventide Zahida, then maybe you should be here in this position in the circle.
Be Blackgrass's Brack, right?
I'm
Not
so
the
sorry.
Brack.
You are correct.
Messed it up.
I mean, if that's the way you want to go with that. Here is my potential pitch for being here from Moonrise's Fawit. Is this idea of him being so sort of bent on trying to sacrifice for the good of the community that he's neglecting himself and his own needs. That feels like something to me that a sort of a caretaker would key in on in terms of like you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I can see that.
And obviously, that is not a thing that Tomorrow's Wrack wants to do. It's like, no, I've got to help the people. I don't matter right now.
My own needs aren't important.
I could see that. Especially because like she's trying to help the people. Her, she just sees his as destructive.
Yeah. I mean, if maybe this is a little sort of, but if I mean, do you see Moonrise's Fluid as taking a kind of leadership role, or is she like the kind of the one that's in the background trying to sort of help the people that other people like aren't paying attention to in the way that they need help?
I feel like she's almost going to be like a low-key leader. She's not actually trying to lead, but she ends up having to because of
Like a
decisions
spiritual
other
leader
people
kind of a
make.
thing.
Yeah.
Because of everyone else's very strong personalities.
Very true. Yeah. Okay. So is that what we want to do then?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
If we go, okay, so what would you call that in terms of what you specifically want from Tomorrow's Brack?
Non-destructive leadership.
Great. That's not how you spell tomorrow. It's so hard when it's so little. Great. So then that would lock in Tomorrow's Brack to here and Aeon's Iridia there. So let's go ahead and write in your want Black Masses Brack from Eventide Zahida. So what is that you want from her?
I think what he really wants is free reign to protect the colony the way he sees fit.
Yeah.
Which is basically which I'm feeling more and more like he might just be Batman.
Okay.
But like murder Batman.
Murder Batman.
Just say Batman doesn't murder people.
Yeah. I mean, so like the things in here, there's like I want support for my plans, ideas, authority, or place in the community.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But like
like freedom, but not quite.
legitimacy or respect or something.
I don't think he really cares if people respect him as long as they don't get in his way.
Okay. But specifically from Eventide Zahida though.
Right, because I feel like her as like this kind of like general leader type person. She's the one who has the most power to kind of stymie him.
Yeah.
Also, like his just like personal feelings are that like the leader should understand that his service is necessary, even if it's not pretty or
right.
You know,
it's like
nice.
You've got to have the guy that does the dirty work. That's just how things work. It's just how it goes.
Exactly.
So yeah, like autonomy or something.
Gosh, it's not even that. It's just.
I mean, free reign. That's.
Yeah.
Like there's like a word that would like describe that.
Yeah.
Better, but not.
Yeah.
He wants leeway. He wants elbow room.
Room to work.
Flexibility.
Yeah, room to work. He wants to be set to a task and allowed to do that task his way.
Yeah.
Without as much oversight.
Great. That sounds great to me. So then we need what Aeon's Iridia wants from Black Masses Brack. Oh, I guess we should say so. So why is Eventide Zahida not willing to give that to Black Masses Brack?
Probably because murdering someone who's in the community, even if they're not really a part of the community, is still murdering someone in the
Mhm.
community. Like, you're still like, no, he's just in his rebellious phase. Okay, he'll come around.
Listen,
Yeah.
said multiple times that he was a pirate and a murderer. It's only a matter of time before he takes out one of ours because somebody has a shiny stone that he likes better than the one that he's already got.
Great. Yeah, because I think that to me is interesting because uh, this sort of elder kind of grizzled Zahida still does have some sense even after like kind of all of that. Like I think we have it said that she where am I looking here? She's lost her innocence, but that she still has a sense of some kind of I don't know, morality
Yeah,
is necessarily the right word.
yeah, I
but
think that yeah, morality is probably because I don't think that she's like really like all that hopeful
mm-hmm.
that Mathos is gonna suddenly turn into this fucking stellar part of the community, but that he'll at least find something worth more than money,
Yeah.
basically. Because when she was young and brash once too, and she thought she knew what she wanted, but it turns out that she was totally wrong about it. So
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. So then we need something that Aeon's Iridia wants from Black Mass's Brack and something that Tomorrow's Brack wants from Aeon's Iridia. Let's see. Does anybody have, I guess AJ, if you have any ideas there, or if anybody else has anything,
Yeah, I was gonna say
go for it.
either. I'm trying to think, and like Chris, let me know what you think of this. But I, I'm debating whether this Iridia likes the way that this Brack operates and kind of wants protection and like cooperation from this Brack, if that makes sense.
I could see
But
that.
like, and then I can see
Not a
how
bodyguard. I do what I do for the
The-
good of the
exactly,
community.
that's the contention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's do that then.
So specifically protection or cooperation or
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of both. I think I could get the I think this Iridia could get the protection but not the cooperation.
okay, so we'll say cooperation then, because that's the more contentious one. From Black Masses Brack. Okay, so then Tomorrow's Brack. What does he want from Aeon's Iridia? I think this has to do something with the difference between the way their leadership works. Like I think, like we said, that this Tomorrow's Brack, his leadership is very much like I'm giving everything I have to serve this community and to do what's best for them, whereas I kind of see this Iridia as being much more of an internal thing, especially with all the sort of the guilt and all that stuff that she's dealing with. That she is a little more um, like almost like she has a leadership role because people look to her, but not because she wants it. Does that sound like a thing to you?
Yeah, I mean, so what would you say is like the
So kind of the idea that like that he wants her to to kind of get out of her own head and to give more of herself to the community.
Okay. So like maybe selflessness,
Yeah. Let's see if there's any
or
good.
I guess like outward selflessness.
Could it be that she is still working on like whatever it was she was working on before she came here? And since she is this like great scientist and scholar, she could be figuring out a way to get home, but she's still so wrapped up in
No, here like
Hey, we lost Ayla.
yeah, we
Uh-oh.
did.
she out.
Oh,
Oh
she's
no.
typing. She's typing. I think no, I know. Uh, this Iridia, sorry. Um, is already like trying to figure out ways to make this place a better home.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Okay.
so. Like I don't I get that, but I don't think that would work, Chris. Um, but I see what you're saying, damn. How like you want it to be more like showing like show more leadership instead of just like behind the scenes.
Yeah, to
Like
kind of to step into the leadership role that people are sort of looking to you for.
Okay, gotcha.
Um,
And
does that?
she would want to do because she wouldn't feel ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that's necessarily I mean, I don't want to put thoughts in your character's head here, but not necessarily that it's even a thing that she's considering as something she's not doing. It's just like, I'm here, I'm doing my research, I'm like trying to figure things out. Like, I can't. You're trying to get me to like what, go like stand up and make speeches or something. Like, that's not gonna be helpful. Like that kind of an attitude.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna babysit kind of
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Okay. So, let's. I don't know if that's the best way to say that, but that he wants more external responsibility or leadership or something.
Maybe like political responsibility, because in a way
Yeah,
that kind of uh,
yeah. No, I think that makes sense. Um, cool. We'll put that in there. Great. All right. So let's straighten this all back out then, and let's do our secondary characters. Okay, I'm gonna just make these bigger too. That's a little better. Okay, so for our secondary characters, we just want names and do we do wants? A name and a concept, so no wants. So this is much more abridged. Chris, secondary character. Who you got?
Huh? It's what did I call her? White suburban Iridia.
Housewife already.
Karen Iridia.
Karen Iridia. This is something that you're gonna add to the list here. This is not going off of something that I put in there already.
Right.
Okay, great. So we'll want a name for that. and what the kind of the points of that character are.
Happy hour Iridia.
Only drinks margaritas.
Sorry, it's Sauvignon Blanc.
Blank, yes.
Yeah. What do you need from me?
A name and a concept, basically. Like, what are the points that define her character as different from Iridia Prime?
Truly. She's too classy for White Claw, but truly.
Truly. She so this
Come
is
on, go even further. She drinks pressed.
So this is this Iridia. She was never a scholar. Just ignore that part of the backstory altogether.
So she stayed in Naris with her family.
Yes, she's raised and brought up to be a jeweler. This is what she does. She makes pretty little things and sells them and gossips with her girlfriends. That was her life.
So this is not even that like high society part version of her. This is like sort of middle society.
This is social climbing.
She wants to be high society.
Right.
Aha, okay.
Character concept, gossiper.
Busybody?
Yeah, busybody for sure.
She's just like constantly trying to gossip with all these people, and they're like, what are you doing?
Everyone else has their shit together in this tower except for
I mean, that's probably a stretch, but great. Any ideas for well, how old are you thinking here?
I'm thinking like mid to late 20s.
Oh, okay. So still pretty young.
Yeah, she's dumb. She's young and dumb.
Oh man, I feel bad for her. She's gonna get teased by all the other Iridias who are all really smart. I mean, so the thing I feel like is here, the thing that I think is interesting is to explore in this is just because someone makes different life choices doesn't mean they don't have the same kind of innate capabilities and qualities. So like I feel like she probably has the potential to be really smart and stuff, but just doesn't want to be.
Like people expect her to be dumb because they think that she's dumb.
Right.
She just kind of, plays up that part.
Yeah, I mean it's like that.
And that's what gets her what she wants because
it's like that person in high school who like fakes being dumb on all the
yeah,
the tests and
I
stuff,
mean,
but...
like I said, she's trying to social climb, and I mean that to her has meant kind of putting on this facade of being like an airhead, because at once it puts people off their guard, so she can like kind of find out stuff about them that they might not want other people to know, and because like you looking for a rich husband, they're not looking for they're not looking for the scholar, a bookish type. They're looking for the trophy wife.
That's great. I especially love that in the context of in the immediate environment of all these other Herodias who are like, what are you trying to like act stupid? Where are you? We can't. Oh man, that's great. Okay. So we can, if you want to keep thinking about a name, we can circle back to a name on that. But So like I said, I'm thinking like times the day or like amounts of time or
I liked happy hour, but apparently that wasn't good enough.
I mean, it's not very it's not very fantasy, for being perfectly honest. And we'll put that she is the social climber / busybody. All right. While you are thinking on that, who's next? Scott. Secondary character, go.
Murder.
Murder.
That's right. Fawit.
That's what she does.
So you are
Uh,
a Fawit, right?
yeah. I don't know if any of the standard concepts fit.
That's fine. We can
Maybe
come up with...
maybe recluse, sort of.
Oh, interesting.
But-
Okay.
All of the Fawits are just reclusive.
That's true. I feel like especially
Yeah.
the dusk Fawits are very much reclusive but doing their own business. um
Could you say like character concept assassin or something like that?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if that's an option, that is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're not. I'm
To
not
the
limiting
T.
us to things on the list here. So the distinctions that I would want to make are
Or
what
mercenary, I guess.
Yeah, what makes you different from Moments Mathos and Black Masses Brack.
Hmm. I mean, she's not going to be all that much different than Moments Mathos, but I feel like Mathos is in it for the money,
Mm-hmm.
whereas she literally has no allegiance. She's doing it for the funds.
Oh,
So she-
serial killer.
So like psychopath, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. But in some manner, I mean, I guess the important thing to make sure we're all noting here is that in some manner, at least, all of these characters do want the quest to succeed. That's a starting point we should be keeping mindful of.
She wants it to succeed so that they can get out of here and she can have more victims.
There's so many people to kill out
No,
there.
I know what her. I do know what Fawit's one is.
I mean, we don't need a specifically need a want, but I mean it's good to talk about either way.
Okay.
But what are you thinking there?
She wants to go back home
Oh, okay.
to
So
murder the entire
Just
group of people that
all of them.
ostracized her.
Oh, right. Cause okay. So
I
this
gotta
is
get back to high school and kill everyone.
Tragic. That's dark.
So this. Okay. So this is a Fawit who. Are we still going that she got exiled from
Mm-hmm.
the Faithful, but then didn't take the normal Fawit track where she's like, I'm doing all this stuff so I'm trying to make penance and get back in. She's just like, nope,
Yes.
I'm done with you.
So
And then
basically, they kicked her out, and she's like, she got a breath of fresh air, and she's like, wait a minute, I don't need these people. Fuck these people. Fuck everything they did to me during my childhood. I'm gonna kill them.
Revenge.
Great. Do you have a name for that? Fouet?
Mm,
Um, I mean, I feel like for those kinds of characters, I'm always thinking of something sort of more towards the nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We already have dusk. We've got black mass.
maybe he should take Black Mass.
Well, black mass is just midnight, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Or like darkest hours for it,
Depending on who you're asking.
or before the dawns for it, or something.
Winter solstice for it. Darkest day of the year.
what's that word? There's a cool word for when it gets dark. The gloaming. It's like a word I've heard used. I feel like more in poetry, but but anyway, so you are, I mean, assassin slash mercenary, or assassin slash sociopath.
Psychopath.
Psychopath. Sorry. SPSYCH.
You don't go in for that social aspect.
Okay, great. Think on a name there as well.
I
So
put
on
mine in the chat there.
you did which chat?
Game chat.
Game chat. Oh, great. Perfect. That's not what I want. I want this. Day Springs Iridia. Okay. All right. Moving over to Eric. Secondary character. What you got?
Their want is to serve.
Great. And you're doing the which one were you doing?
I'm doing the dusk.
The dusk. Right.
Just the hive mind for wits.
Uh
Let them serve me.
That's probably what'll end up happening, to be honest.
huh.
Put them to work.
Put them to work. So what's your the concept generally for that?
They're essentially just wanting to do what they've always done and serve whatever ruling body arises out of this in the same capacity that they always have. They will take care of problems.
Okay.
So we will get along very well.
Yeah. What would you how would you succinctly label that?
The KGB.
Gonna say KGB for my guy.
The secret police. Like the enforcers.
Yeah, I guess.
The strong right arm. Okay.
The night from the darkness.
And then Dela. Who is your secondary character again?
My secondary character is gonna be. I'm just picking another Zahida, but I'm picking like a not necessarily like peacekeeper, but like pacifist
Okay.
Zahida.
Do you have a name for that?
I don't know. I kind of liked like sidereal Zahida.
Ooh, how do you spell that? How do you spell that?
Sidereal.
Dereal.
Dereal. Yes.
Side reel. Is that
Yeah,
how
but
okay.
it's pronounced
Sidereal.
sidereal. Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like a timekeeping system that astronomers use to like locate shit
Awesome.
in the sky.
Um. Oh, and did we get what age are we thinking there? I don't know that I got ages on the rest of you. I'll come back.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like, hold on, let me see what the other two are. I forgot to pull this back up. Let's see. We have a late 50s and an early 40s. I would say
Can be similar
she's
ages. It's not.
um. Yeah, I would say early 40s is fine
Okay.
actually.
So what's since we don't have her in here, what's her deal?
She still had that like idea of wanting to be this great war hero like her dad,
Uh-huh.
and then she went to war and she
Oh, so it's
killed a bunch of people.
after the war. Okay.
Yeah, and she killed a bunch of people, and she was basically like like it really like scarred her pretty much, and she was like,
Uh-huh.
why did I ever think this was something I wanted?
Yeah.
And then she pretty much put down her sword and never picked it back up. She was like, killing people this isn't who I want to be, this isn't what I want to do. And she kind of has this like I don't know if guilt is quite the right word, but yeah, basically that she sort of feels guilty about
Mhm.
the people that she killed during her brief time in the war. And
Yeah.
so she went home and she became a blacksmith instead.
Fantastic. Alright, let's put in pacifist. Did I spell that right? Probably. Maybe not. Okay. So then I guess we don't need an age for the dusk, because they're all over the place. I imagine this being like a group of anywhere from like fairly young Fawits to like fairly older Fawits who have, any number of like people that never got exiled, people that got exiled and earned their way back in,
Yeah.
any number of combinations of those. Um, and then Scott, how old is your Fawit?
How old was she when she was exiled?
I think we said she had been trying to earn her way back in for 6 years.
Yeah, that sounds right. So like mid-20s.
So I'm gonna put her like early 40s.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hate still burns.
Yeah, dude. Is that uh your submission for name there, Scott,
Yeah.
in the chat? Unstables Fawit. Okay. And AJ, what you got?
Okay, cool. So we're gonna do another Iridia that is also didn't go to school.
Okay.
Turned I mean, still like incredibly smart. Um, and is kind of like a grifter, a con artist in a way.
Okay.
So decided on like making can make the jewelry look really real, but in reality it's like fake, or pretty much just like parties all night and then is a con artist during the day.
So she's definitely still got that alcoholic streak in her.
Yeah, definitely. Stayed at home and helped with the jewelry store. Her
Skimming off the top.
yeah.
Yeah, because in Naren culture, women are generally the ones that are handling the money.
Right.
So that's that totally tracks. So then you basically became a con artist. Just a great community we're building here. I love it.
Hey, of 150 people, this is only 12, so the rest of them could be great.
The rest of them are just upstanding members of society.
That's right. We don't have to worry about any of them.
Age?
I would say like maybe 20.
Okay. So early 20s. Do you have a name?
I don't like. Is there like a? Could I do like imposter Iridia? Or
I'm generally going with like time things, since they're as the kind of the naming convention here. So like everybody so far has been like the possessive of a some sort of either unit or time of the day as a sort of representation of the character. If you had to pick a time of the day that belongs to the con artist, what would you say?
let me think about it.
Okay, great. All right, and you are a con artist.
Or we could go like the drinking route and just say it's 5 o'clock Iridia.
Is there a word for that other than 5 o'clock?
Happy hour Iridia.
I mean, happy hour is what Chris
Can't have it, I
suggested before.
Wait, what? It didn't make sense for you.
What?
That's Chris.
That's like a very specific part of the evening, right? Because it's not like that's after afternoon, isn't it?
I mean, to be fair, people say the line. It can, it's always happy hour somewhere.
Always have 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
Something like sunsets, Iridia, or
or evenings, Iridia, or
Yeah, I don't like that.
Even
Doesn't really matter. It's just a name.
it is just a name. We should think of something though. Great. So you're a con artist. How do you kind of see her sort of fitting into this society here?
With like these 12 other people or 11 other people?
I mean, these and the rest of the 130 or 120 or whatever.
I think.
Looks like you said these are still all people that do want this, thing to succeed.
Right. I think this Iridia is more street smarts and helps the others.
Okay.
With the street smarts, rather than dealing with book smarts.
So I mean, is like she in here like trying to pull cons off on these people in the 2 weeks that she's known some of these people?
Yeah, and I think in some ways it's more like here. I think she's just trying to have fun.
Okay.
Whereas like a lot of other people are concerned, and for her it's just like, whatever. So I think here it's more for fun, like doing it and then being like, oh yeah, by the way, like you shouldn't believe this because X, Y, and Z. Kind of using it as teaching.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, so then for my secondary, who do we have less represented? I feel like that's Mathos, right? So you've got 2 Brax, 3 Iridias, 2 Zahitas, 3 Fawits. Yeah, so let's do a... I'll go ahead and snatch up the famous athlete Mathos.
Olympic.
Olympic
Mathos.
athlete Mathos. So this to me is there's one of the so Galdarians are big into like sort of widely not publicized, but you know widely recognized athletic events and stuff. And one of the sport quote unquote sports they have is a sort of sailing based thing. So that is the thing I imagine him being.
Moments
And
Mathos already hates him.
I'm sure he does. Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Because this is, I mean, I don't know why my brain immediately went here when I was thinking about this, but this to me is definitely like a uh, sort of like a Michael Phelps, like, or a Ryan Lochte or something, like sort of late 20s, charismatic, maybe a bit self-absorbed.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So trying to think for a name here. Maybe I'll just go for let's just go for hours. And he is
Famous.
famous.
other other people in the different realities are like, oh yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, we definitely had him in our reality. Okay. All right. So, do we have everything there? We just need a name for AJ's Iridia. Anybody have any suggestions? I think.
Twilight's a video. That just makes me think of the movie. Never mind.
Maybe that's exactly what we want.
New Moon's Iridia.
uh,
Well, she is a con artist.
oh wait, you know what we need to do then? I need to change Mathis. Is this Mathis' name? Is that how you spell that? I think that's how you spell that. Yep. It's gonna be Fortnite's Mathos.
God.
All right.
How dare you do this to my character?
The Dusker immediately killing that Mathis. That's my first move. It doesn't matter what happens.
First, yeah. Okay.
I'll help you.
Yep, I expect everyone's help.
All right. Well, let's just put in. We'll just put in. Twilight's Iridia. This is a placeholder. Maybe it'll motivate you to think of a better one. Okay, great. So we have all our fellowship now. So going back to step 2, what makes our quest difficult? As a group, brainstorm 2 things that make our quest difficult. Take examples from the quest sheet or make up your own. difficulties gets everyone on the same page about what stands in our way. They may inspire the challenges we confront later on, or just tell us more about the world and the situation we're in. Write your difficulties down, blah, 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 blah. So, if you look at the ones that are suggested here,
Each other?
yeah, I mean, well, so the options they have on the sheet here are, we don't have the supplies we need, the ecosystem is inhospitable, there are dangerous life forms, we were forced to land on the wrong planet, our surveys are useless, there's dissent and disagreement, and other colonists are already here and they're not happy about our intrusion. Does anybody have anything that jumps out at them? So we need 2 of these.
I mean,
And
dissent and disagreement.
I think that certainly
Number 1 and number 5
seems.
sounded like.
What was number? Oh, we don't have the supplies we need. Yeah. The
Well,
other.
and there are dangerous life forms.
Yeah.
True,
Which
yeah.
such as what?
Ratul, Cartographers, Tojeth, Toberon, take your pick.
Literally everything. Literally everything in the tower besides us.
What makes our quest difficult? Everything is trying to kill us,
Including outside.
including inside.
Especially outside?
I mean, I feel like more especially inside.
I mean, outside kills us by its very nature.
Yeah, but you're also
Trying to
in
kill
the
Mathos.
in the
The
middle.
Wits are trying to kill Mathos.
You're in the middle of, this, because also remember that you guys showed up in here, or all of us, we all showed up in here in the hall of the maps, or I have to look up the names for these things. I'll put them in. For that big battle, and then we've had a chance to sort of explore a little bit, but also the whole 2 towers here, and the little thing in the middle, I feel like it's a whole thing to figure out how to get in, back and forth between any of them, because the people we are right now were not the people that came through these temples in the first place. That was our actual main PCs. So these people don't know much about that. So there's that to consider, I feel like. So yeah, I think dissent and disagreement definitely seems like a big one. Supplies is, I think, also a potential one. I was looking at, so I know it's a little different, but forced to land on the wrong planet, our surveys are useless. And sort of modifying that to be along the lines of like, hey, we just popped into this other world reality thing. Maybe some of these people have been in their version of reality, have been in Alardan for a little while, but we're all in these sort of popped in from different realities and have no idea what's going on in this place. So like that could be something that's a potentiality. What are other people's thoughts here? What are people feeling?
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we don't have to pick 4 because you could make an argument for all of those. So.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So let's see, how do we want to word that? Because I think the inhospitality here is also sort of the dangerous life forms. This is not to be underestimated. But maybe something along the lines of like that we don't know what to expect here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at all.
We were flung into a different timeline. What the fuck is happening?
And this is also like right smack in the middle of like crazy weird cartographer magic that who knows what. Like, I mean, basically these towers are in their own like weird realities or something. Like if you remember this tower, the Tower of Ascension, by the time you got up to the top, is like red sand beaches and this like milky white ocean,
Mhm.
and this tower was this weird like bluish city, and at the top was this like weird um, like blue green grass land and like a pinkish sky. I think one of them had two suns. So like those in and of themselves are like who even knows what kind of crazy cartographer stuff is going on in here. Yeah, and then there's this whole like orrery thing with the weird upside down fountain, and yeah, lots of good stuff that who even knows. And we've all been in here for 2 weeks to try and figure out what's going on. Okay. So we did all that, and one from the crest, one from you, minor characters. Great. Okay, so let's get into this. Let me take a second here to label these things while we're trying to figure something out. But so play. To complete the quest, our fellowship will face 3 challenges. We won't know what challenges will confront us at the start. We'll only know as they arise. Each challenge is something we need to do to move closer to our goal. If we succeed at a challenge, we are more likely to succeed at the quest. If we fail, or ignore or refuse the challenge, it doesn't mean the quest immediately fails, but it makes it harder for us to win in the end. You must pick challenges from the quest sheet, but your choices and the order you put them in define the flavor of your game. 2 sessions using the same quest might follow completely different arcs. Do we start our heist assembling a team and figuring out how to get into the vault, or do we start with the loot already in hand and spend the rest of the game trying to get away? Blah, 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 blah. For each of the 3 rounds, we follow the same steps. Step 1, pick our challenge and describe why it is difficult. Step 2, place scenes to explore how our characters deal with the challenge and each other. And then we draw stones to see if the fellowship succeeds or fails at the challenge, and whether any of our characters were lost or betrayed. The fellowship. The 3rd challenge is different. Its outcome determines the success or failure of the entire quest, but our wins or losses in the first 2 challenges will influence our chances of victory. After the 3rd challenge is resolved and we've seen whether the fellowship succeeds at the quest, we'll play a short epilogue to look at the characters' lives after the quest. After all was said and done, was the quest worth it to them? If we go over to look at the second page of the colony sheet, so this is page 52, this is a list of challenges. Play. Step 1. Choose a player to pick the next challenge. It must be someone who has not picked one already. That person selects a challenge from the quest sheet. Picking a challenge establishes that it is the next important step we need to take on our quest. You must pick a challenge from the quest sheet, but you can pick any challenge you think appropriate, even one that has already been used. When in doubt, just ask yourself, what will we need to do next? If this is the 3rd challenge, you're establishing the final task. After everything has happened, we must complete to finish the quest. Copy your first challenge, blah, 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 blah. Great. Okay, so let's do this. How many we are 6 of us in here. So going in order from first to last, I'm just going to roll a d6 to see who gets to pick first. Unless anybody has any strong opinions looking at this sheet in terms of like, yes, this is the first thing we should do. Any takers on that?
Deal with dangerous wildlife.
All right. Sounds good to me. The player who picked the challenge describes the problem that confronts the fellowship and fleshes out the situation. Tell us what makes the challenge difficult and why we need to do it. But do not say anything about how the fellowship will solve the problem. Leave that for scenes. So, our first challenge. What did you say it was?
Deal with dangerous wildlife.
Deal with dangerous wildlife.
There are a bunch of those flappy evil birds.
Yep.
And I believe there were also some crab people. Crab people look like crab but talk like people.
You're talking about the Mushroom Man?
No, well, he was a good guy, right? He just
I mean, sure, yeah.
until Joe gave him very bad advice.
uh, the
There was something that tried to
crab
kill us in the hallway, and we like maybe there was only 2 of them, but I feel like they were crabs. Anybody else remember this?
in the hallway.
Crabs
In which
in the-
hallway? Were you still in the tower?
Yeah, I think it was right before we got into this room. Ah, I can't click on that because that's the...
I think I remember what you were talking about. It was the things that like stayed in the dark. I can't
It
remember
was
what they were called.
right before this group
Uh-huh.
got into this room.
I think most of that.
I mean, maybe we killed them and it's fine now.
Well, because the last thing that happened for the Tower of Ascension people that you did before you went into the to the orrery room was the corrupted version of the Mushroom Man. That's that Mathos got to
That's not
sacrifice
what I'm
himself.
thinking of.
when you
The
were trying to move the mirrors?
the things you were fighting in there were all like those corrupted quill in various forms. Like some of them were bigger. I think there was a couple that you like had to stop and fight for a second.
2 really big ones, but I was
Yes.
thinking they were crabs. I don't know why.
Oh no, they were quill, like corrupted quill.
I remember them swarming us, like all the
Uh-huh.
little ones, but they were 2 very big things. Maybe I'm drunk, but that's what I thought I remembered.
Maybe just playing the character.
Maybe I think I heard somebody talking about crabs. I don't want to get crabs.
Good lord.
Oh, your,
All right.
I love how your brain works.
Okay. Did I say that right? The Chamber of Horizontal Conjunction. Yes, oh great. And this is, sorry, I'm just putting the names in here.
Horizontal conjunction.
Horizontal, as in like dealing with the
No.
horizon. There's no T
horizontal. Not
Horizontal.
zontal. Horizontal.
in there. It's different.
There is no T.
I don't have a fancy name for this area. It's just the hangar. This is where the ship is.
It's the top.
Okay. First challenge. Okay, so are you, so this is, you're thinking just of the stuff inside the towers here, or are we thinking of stuff outside the towers as well?
Well, if they go outside, they die, right?
We can't do shit about that.
No, I think you can, it's like a radius thing basically. So I'm imagining them being able to go like maybe up to like a mile or something outside of
Oh.
the tower. So it's so you have a little bit of a leeway there. But you're not stuck to the immediate area of these towers. But there's plenty to deal with in here. And again, who knows what to expect? I mean, there could be things more. I will not close the door to saying that there are not other things in here besides the things that we saw when we came through the first time. Weird cartographer stuff. But
Well, I didn't even realize we could go outside at all. So
mhm.
I don't know. Maybe I retract that scream of dangerous wildlife.
I mean, it's entirely possible.
There's still dangerous wildlife in here, though.
True, there are.
They're like, oh,
Um,
we could use these rooms to our advantage, but this shit,
we
all
have
of
to
these fucking
figure this
creatures
stuff
are in
out.
here. So, right.
I mean, do we think there's any part of this that is not just the quote unquote wildlife aspect of it, but just like the dangerous nature of this place itself? In terms of, like I said, sort of, because the first time you came through, there were like doors that appeared and you went through and they took you places, and that was basically just going in one direction. Um, so trying to sort of figure out how to navigate that in reverse or otherwise, so that you can figure out how to get back and forth between these places easily and not like being lost to the dark corners of time or something.
I mean, yeah. I mean, discovering safe paths.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Discovering, or I guess maintaining safe paths.
Establishing
Through,
safe
yeah.
paths. Great. So, I guess we sort of talked about it a little bit, but what makes this difficult? Did it say we need two things? Or is it just one thing? I mean, I guess it could just be one thing, but why is this difficult? And this could just be putting into words what we just said.
Maybe there's only, there's only 150 of them.
Yeah.
So depending on the size.
Limited people power.
Yeah.
Or they're outnumbered. Too bad regular Fwith's not here.
Hey, I can only cheese the rules when I'm around.
In Dungeon World.
That underdog was
I would like to misericord the tower.
Between that and underdog, it's just ridiculous.
All right. So, and I threw in unknown cartographer magic as well as our. Okay. So now, so just for everyone's purposes, I think we're just going to go through one challenge for the rest of tonight, and then we'll call it, and then do the rest later. Okay. So, the player who picked the challenge chooses which main character they think would be the first to decide how to deal with this problem. You cannot pick your own character. Just consider who in the Fellowship would take the lead for this problem. This player will make the first scene. As a group, decide how long we envision the challenge taking. Minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, or years. This gets everyone on the same page about how much time our scenes will encompass. So Chris, who do you think is going to be the first to tackle this besides Black Masses Brack?
I think it's tomorrow's Brack. Like, this visionary leader who's thinking about the future of this group and realizing that they need, like, they can't survive in this hangar indefinitely.
Right. Great. Okay, so that is me. So each player makes one scene for the challenge. The person chosen by the player who picked the challenge makes the first scene, so that's me, followed by the player on their left. So we'll just go, I mean, I guess for this we'll just go across the list on the bottom there. Make, play, and finish each scene before starting the next. Scenes are the meat of the game, and your scene is your spotlight time. It's a chance to explore your relationship to other characters in the Fellowship, what you think about the quest, and what you are doing to deal with the challenge. Your scenes lay the groundwork and put our plans in motion, but no matter what happens, we won't know if we succeed or fail at the challenge until after everyone has made a scene. We may think things are going well or poorly, but we won't learn the outcome until we get to the climax. So just a good one.
My
Couple
God, you're a
notes
child.
on the scenes.
But you gotta make it weird.
To make your scene, say who is there, where it's happening, and what is going on. It is more important to describe a situation that is clear to all the players than one that is particularly novel or interesting. Your scene should be about your main character. Other characters may be present as well, but it is your time. Do not include your own minor character. 2 or 3 characters per scene is ideal. Every player does not have to be in every scene. Normally you include other characters from the Fellowship, but you can also invent outside characters if you need to talk to and ask people to play them. Blah, blah, blah. A game scene is like a scene in a movie. We see a situation, interesting things happen, and then we cut to the next bit when the interesting part is over. But since we're all simultaneously co-writers and audience, each of us might have our own idea about what we think should happen in a scene, and we won't know what will actually unfold until we play. Does anybody have any questions about how this happens?
So we're just playing our own main characters then.
It depends. So each of us. So I'll set the first scene here. I'll sort of decide what we're doing and who's doing it with tomorrow's brack, whether that's your main characters or minor characters. So it could be any sort of combination of people basically. And then we basically just sort of play out the scene.
Got it.
Okay.
And you just do what you say.
Yes. Once the scene up is set up, start role-playing. If you're in the scene, say what your character does, says, and thinks. Play and see what happens. Each player controls the fate of their characters. If you want to do something to another player's character, describe your action and your intended effect. Then the players controlling that character decides the outcome. So we're not like rolling dice or anything here, but we're just sort of, kind of talking through and deciding on what stuff happens. Never describe succeeding or failing at the challenge in a scene. We won't know that if we win or lose until all the scenes have been played, and we do a thing at the end of that. If someone thinks you described your character as succeeding at something too easily, they can add a consequence and describe how your action put another player's character in danger or difficulty. The consequence may be something you didn't want and could not have foreseen, but it's a side effect of your action nonetheless. Anyone can add a consequence, not just players in the scene. Blah, blah, blah. And then, when in doubt, end your scene earlier rather than later. Shorter scenes are better than longer scenes. Player making the scene has final say over when to end. If you've shown some decision being made or revealed something about a character or the situation, that's a good scene. In fact, it's often more dramatic to leave new problems hanging and resolve them later. If you need to take some action to put what you talked about into effect, don't try to expand the scene to encompass that new situation. Either save it for later or just summarize doing it. Okay. Any questions? Make sense?
I think so.
Great.
Let's try it and see if it made sense to everyone.
Great idea. So we will, in each of these challenges, we will have 6 scenes to play out, which is more than the sort of the game suggests. I think they say like 3 to 5 people. So we are doing sort of more scenes than we're supposed to. But I think that's fine.
So we might not get through this whole thing.
Yeah, it depends. It depends how long these scenes are. Okay, so our first challenge is to establish safe paths. So the first move that tomorrow's brack is going to make. I think we want to I think he decides that before we want to do anything in terms of like venturing through gates and all that kind of stuff, we want to try and basically set up a base camp here in the Hall of Maps, because I think the only sort of gateway we have out of this area, because the hangar connects directly up to the Hall of Maps here, it's like a stairwell or something. But that gate we have into the Hall of Maps, I think, is the only way back into the rest of the tower. So I think before we want to get that all set up, he wants to sort of organize this base camp to make sure we have everything we need to sort of venture into the tower here. So I think in this scene is tomorrow's Brack. I think anybody else, if you feel like you have a good case to put a character in, whether it's a main character or minor character, feel free to
I think if you're
speak up.
building a base camp, Moonrise's Fwit makes sense to have as like a
Definitely, yeah.
like this is where we're going to be scheduling these things out of, and so we need a healer on site to
Great.
maybe she could, organize the other Bracks who aren't quite as murdery.
Sure. I think on that we should have Eventide Zahida in here as well, to coordinate, military stuff. Trying to decide if there's anybody else. I think. Yeah.
No.
And the dusk just for pure.
Like, we're sending them in to clear the way.
To have them sort of be there. Yeah. Since we have two Eric characters, Eric, do you want to does anybody want to take the dusk?
Well,
so
the dusk don't say anything.
It's true, but
Yeah, the dusk don't speak.
But they are acting and thinking and doing things. So, I mean, if you want to take both of those, that's fine too. But if you want to,
I mean, I think I can take both of them just because they'll be doing such different things.
Great.
Essentially.
Okay. So what are we doing specifically? I think we are. Yeah, we're getting this stuff up. I think there's other people who are kind of coming in and out, moving things, and I think specifically the three of us, so Tomorrow's Brack, Eventide Zahida, and Moonrise's Fwit, are sort of in a meeting here together, discussing things. I think we have a sort of a little table or something set up next to the big altar thing here. So that's kind of behind us with the gate in front of us. Yeah, I think does that seem reasonably clear to everybody? Sort of making a great. All right, well let's do it. So I think Tomorrow's Brack here is at this table, and they're sort of kind of shuffling through some really sort of hastily drawn sort of maps and stuff, or descriptions that they've got of the rest of the towers from the sort of the prime 5 characters, because none of these people have really done much to venture in here. So he's kind of shuffling through these papers at the table, and our first plan of attack here, I think, needs to be a mission of discovery. We have to know what's down there, what's in there, I don't even know what direction we're talking about here. We need to be able to figure out how these gates work, and we need to figure out a way to do that safely. Does anyone have any suggestions?
Well, upon you asking that question, that would Zahida would probably be like, we need to get the scientists, tinkerers in here because we don't know what's are we really willing to like sacrifice people? There's not enough of us to just wander.
I agree. I think some perhaps there's a way we can send something exploratory through the portals that will help us be able to tell what's on the other side without actual people going through. You're absolutely right. We do not have the people to lose here. We are outnumbered as it is by this place. There is a lot we have up against, and I do not want to be losing people before we even figure out what's in there. Moonrises for wit. We need, as well as our plan of action here, we need to be able to be set up to take care of people with should anything happen on the other side of those doors. We need to have some kind of a trauma center or receiving or a place where we can get immediate medical attention to these people should anything go wrong in there. Is that something that you can organize?
I mean, should is probably too optimistic. I think you mean when something goes wrong. And yes, I can, but I need people. I need, you know, we're limited on manpower. I can set up a space, but I need people to help me take care of whatever casualties happen.
Yes. Unfortunately, I think you're right. As in addition to being low on manpower, we seem to be low on people who are willing to help. We need a way. We need a way for people to. We need a cause to believe in here. This group is fractured enough as it is. If we cannot band together, surely we will all fall apart.
Is survival not a worthy cause? I mean, do we just need to remind them of their mortality?
Perhaps. I think survival might only get us so far, though. But it is perhaps at least a place to start. In the immediacy, I think Moonrises for wit. Perhaps you can get the dusk to help you in the immediacy.
I'm sure I can convince them to at least help me. I don't know if they will be happy about it. It isn't their normal wheelhouse.
I understand. Well, we have to depend on somebody, and I think you may know them better than others. See what you can do.
They are you.
Well, a version of you, anyway.
A very different version.
Well, for now, I think that is our course of action, and we will do what we can. I will get to work on rounding some more people up and seeing if we can find some. I will speak to some of the Iridias and see if we can figure out something to send through these gates so that we can figure out what's over there.
I'll talk to the Dusk, and if not be able to talk them into it, at least be able to convince them that they're serving a greater purpose by helping me.
Thank you. And I think that's scene. I think we'll call that there. I need to find my charger for my headset really quick because it's dying. While I'm doing that, why don't we need to think of so Brack, Chris, you would be the next scene. See if we can come up with what you want to do and get that figured out, and I will be right back.
All right, if that scene is establishing base camp, then I mean our next order of business is initial expeditions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think. So in that case, I think we have Eon's Iridia to see if there is something that the Iridias came up with for sending through to figure out if there's something, terrible on the other side of these gates. Thing. Unstable Fwit, maybe? As someone that maybe Black Masses Brack would have asked to come as someone who would be interested in going on an expedition to the other side.
To kill shit.
Yeah, to kill shit, to try to find some way through this. Is that something that Unstable Fwit would have accepted an invitation to, Scott?
Well, that's not. I mean, if you say that they're there, then they're there.
That's
Whether
true, but
whatever the scene is, then.
Okay, hello?
hello.
I'm back. Sorry, I knew I should have charged this thing beforehand. Okay, so what did we decide?
I'm talking about like initial expeditions.
Okay.
Or an initial expedition. So right now I think we have Eon's Iridia as like kind of the fallout from your thing of getting Iridias on side to figure out what might be on the other side of these portals.
Okay.
Um
Well, you could put tomorrow's Brack in there then.
yeah. Tomorrow's Brack. Unstable Fwit as someone that Black Masses Brack would have asked to come along to see because he thinks that we need manned expeditions to the other side to figure out what's going on. And Unstable Fwit is someone who would come with, he thinks, might come with to kill shit.
Kill.
To kill. And I think that might be it.
Do you want the dusk in there if you're looking for manpower for going in?
I mean, I do.
Or are they busy helping Moonrise's Fwit since we sort
That's
of
what I was
established
wondering.
that? Yeah, okay.
I felt like my hands were kind of tied by that.
That's fine. that's what we
Which,
said.
hey, that's the consequences.
Yep. This is true. Okay, so Black Mass's Brack, Unstable's Fwit, and tomorrow's Brack, you said?
And Eon's Iridia.
And Deanna's already. Okay, great. And so what's specifically going on? Where are we?
I think we're back in the Hall of Maps, with, and I don't know if this is fair to put on AJ, but like at the first expedition, like what do the Iridias have as a way to find out what's on the other side? Is kind of
Mm-hmm.
what I was thinking about.
Any ideas?
I don't even know what this thing is. I wasn't here the first time this was explained, so I'm literally the worst person.
This is true.
This is like my nightmare. I don't even know what we're talking about. I'm just lost completely.
Well, so there's a gateway to
Can I just
something.
change my Iridia to stupid, dumb Iridia who knows nothing and gets dropped on her head as a baby and is the worst of all, and you can just leave me out of everything, or just like tag me along just to be there and listen?
Oh man.
She was able to figure out. I don't remember exactly what it was that she told us about it, but she like figured out some stuff
Yeah, no,
about
absolutely.
like their like
I mean,
like how they were there and stuff like that.
yeah. So it's a I mean it's a gateway that, from what was explained the first time we came through, people came, one party, two of them came from the Tower of Ascension, that brought them through this gateway into the Hall of Maps, and three people came from the bottom of the Tower of Descension, and through a gateway that brought them into the Hall of Maps. So it's kind of figuring out how this system of gateways works, and I think the idea that we were sort of setting up is trying to figure out how to see what's on the other side of these gates without risking people going through them. That said, it sounds like we've got Eon's Iridia and Tomorrow's Brack probably trying to figure out that way, and maybe Black Mass's Brack and Unstable's Fawit thinking that maybe they should just go and find out what's in there.
Yeah, I mean, the quote-unquote prime versions of us are fucking punks who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, so
Fucking punks.
So I mean, is that the scene that it's beginning here with kind of Eon's Iridia and Tomorrow's Brack sort of like trying out something they figured out in terms of, I mean, this can be whatever we think is something reasonable. It's like, hey, we're trying this thing to sort of figure out what's going on, and then we see what happens from there.
I think so. Iridia as a scientist, it's one of the what's that called? Like, you have to try something to see if it works.
It's a
Like,
scientific method.
yeah, it's doy scientific method. So I think it starts as
It's an experiment.
as I think we need to send people through to see what we're dealing with.
Oh. So
I don't.
Eon's Iridia is on the send people through.
All right. Well, let's take it from there then. Tomorrow's Brack is, I think, visibly a little frustrated by this. We've discussed this already. It's too dangerous to send people through here. We don't know what's on the other side. We don't know what's going to happen to them.
Well, how else are we supposed to defend ourselves or stop what's going to happen if we don't even know what's on the other side?
I think he takes a second there. What are the two? What are our Black Mass's Brack and Unstable's Fawit doing here? What do you kind of? What's your
Black? I feel like, okay. So the way this is, I like the way this is set up. I feel like then maybe it was Eon's Iridia that approached Black Mass's Brack about needing someone to go through, and Unstable Fawit was someone he brought along as. Okay. At which point, Brack's response would be, we know that 3 untrained, in borderline incapable versions of us survived going up and down both towers. Send some decent versions of us in there. I'm sure we won't have too many problems.
Tomorrow's Brack sort of considers this for a second, and I think he looks down, and then you see him look up in the gate. And he says, "So be it," and then he walks through.
No, oh, what?
Oh, God. Black Masses Brack chases after him.
Unstable
I
Foyet
think.
was standing by the gate and walked through right behind him without
I
saying
think
a word.
End
Iridia
scene.
says-
End scene.
No, wait. Iridia says, these people are going to get me killed, and walks through after them.
No! End scene? Question mark?
Yeah, that's gotta be it.
Okay, well, we should take a second to decide what happens to them. I mean, maybe that decision is because Scott, your scenes are next, or your scene is next, so maybe part of that is deciding. Well, no, because you want to be using you should be using your main character here.
Everyone died.
Everyone died.
Eaten by Quill.
Do we know what's on the other side? Because I really have no idea.
Depends on
mean-
which gate we walked in.
It depends where it sends us. Like I could see a world where there's 4 of us that walk through these. I could see a world where it sends like 2 of us to one tower and 2 of us to another tower, or or something like that, or all of us to one tower, or one of us to some other completely other thing, or like one of us to the chamber in the middle, or like one of us to outside even, like the front gate. I could see this going any number of ways.
Well.
So let's
It
say
sends you to the
this.
beach.
It's so Mathos, do you have a scene idea for moments, Mathos, here? Like maybe this can be sort of something that's then happening kind of in the aftermath of that, and like whatever happened there is done and figured out, and then we're going from there.
I really have no idea what he would be interested in.
And
It's
I
here.
mean, this can also be sort of stuff about sort of what's going on with with the rest of the people. You know what I mean?
I mean, I could see you having like one of these people making a plea for more people to explore, and talking about maybe riches that exist within these towers that get moments Mathos
Twilight
interested.
Iridian
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Con
you
moments Mathos
had me
into
at riches.
Did we in that first meeting? Did we talk about anybody who was trying to? Did we talk about anybody trying to sort of like get people together? Was that Eventide Zahida?
Yeah, I have like a scene for that.
Okay, great. We'll
But except for the people that I would have had in the scene, just went through a fucking portal. So I guess we'll
To
see.
the unknown.
I mean, like I said, that this can be something that happens, after whatever all that went down. Trying to think. So what
You need to go outside.
was your
I had to take the dog out.
okay, Day? What was your idea for your scene in general
I
terms?
was gonna bring in tomorrow's Brack and Black Masses Brack and be like, listen, we need to set up some sort of guard rotation. and most of the Bracks here have some sort of military background. Can we get a few of them to a few of them and a few of me to like be a guard basically, to watch
Okay.
these gates, to make sure that things don't come through them, to watch what's happening, that type of shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Why don't we? Yeah. Why don't we kind of skip around a little bit then? We'll see if Scott comes up with anything. After then. So um let's do that then. Now. I'm just going to. Then I went and Brack went. Yeah, let's set up that scene then. Is there anybody else you want here besides those three of us?
I'm thinking that the dusk are not going to be conducive to just standing guard. They kind of seem like they like being more active members of the society. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say just the Bracks.
Okay. Where is this happening?
She probably like pulls them aside like in the hangar, like while we're, I don't know, they're fucking around doing something, and she like pulls them aside and says, "Hey, listen. I know it's not like a pressing priority, but if we can go through those portals, then other things can probably go through them too. We should probably set a rotating guard um, with some of the other Brax and Zahidas, since we have several of them have military backgrounds, etc."
Hmm. Yes, I think that would be wise. Many of the people here I feel like are lacking purpose. If we can find purpose for people here, perhaps we can find a way to pull everyone together toward this goal. We are so scattered. Everyone is looking after their own interests, and it makes it very difficult to achieve what we need to achieve here. So yes, I think some manner of security would be beneficial for Brax, for Zahidas. What can we do with some of the others?
Seems to me that many of the Fwits know nothing but violence. We need to put that to use in a way that is beneficial for our society.
Agreed. Perhaps we can, now that we know the portals can be used, even if we don't know where they can go. When we went through, they split us up, but we all got back. Perhaps we can use some of the Fwits, perhaps some of the Brax, to send out parties through the towers to scout, to deal with whatever dangers might be there. Do you think that's something that they would agree to?
Depends on the one you pick, I guess.
I can speak with the Dusk.
Yes, good. What of others? What of these Mathuses and these Iridias? Many of them are doing little other than causing trouble.
Ida sort of pinches the ridge of her nose and says, I don't know. I think I have a plan, but it's not a very good plan, but it's a plan.
We need something. What is it you're thinking?
Well, if we I mean, Moments Mathos, he wants riches, right? He wants to be someone successful, whatever he thinks that means. If we could con him into doing things for us for the promise of whatever, maybe we could get some productivity out of him. Say, I find several of the Mathoses to be mostly agreeable, for the most part.
I think that grates on Black Mass's brack, and he's like, that man doesn't want anything. That man does not want to contribute to our society. He wants nothing but to take.
Well,
And
we
no
don't...
amount of incentive will allow him to do that.
That's not true. He's already named his incentive.
Perhaps we only need to find the right thing for him to take here. Him and others. He is not the only one. There's that Iridia. A little more than a con artist, but
Perfect for the job.
I agree. If we know so little about this place, if we can find more relics, more anything, any bits of information that some of the Iridias can use to decipher the mysteries of this place, perhaps that is something that we can send these Mathuses and some of the Iridias in for.
God, I already have my next scene just ready to go.
Great.
I say yes. We'll discuss this more, but for now, let's set up the guard.
Okay.
Can't have too many eggs in one basket.
Sounds like scene to me then. So I think we do that. So we have some of the Bracks and some of the Zahitas that we kind of set up as this security force. We have some of the Fawits, and some of the more stabby Bracks or Mathuses that are sort of organized as parties that go into the towers and try and scout around and subdue as possible, and see if we can wrangle in some of the Mathuses and some Iridias or whatever to kind of be like treasure hunters, basically, and see if they'll bite on that.
I think it would be really funny if it was just the one Iridia.
That's the only Iridia that's like this.
Yeah, like you have a bunch of these like everyone else. There's multiple, and then there's just one Iridia that like strolls in. It's like, wait, what?
Great. So if we wrap around to Mathos, back to Scott then, how, given that kind of proposal, What do you think? What do you think Moments Mathos is doing with that?
If there's treasure, he'll do it. If there's the possibility of treasure, he'll do it.
Great. So why don't we? You want to set up a scene, doing that then? Because we should. I think we should be doing stuff now because we've talked a lot, and we only have 3 scenes left to basically finish this challenge.
So I think he's gonna try to get a group together to just go explore and find this treasure room.
Fantastic.
I think that's his only goal.
So who's in this explorers treasure hunter group?
All the unstable characters.
Really, I think I want to take Sidriel Zahida.
Okay.
Because there could be some rare metals and stuff that maybe you could make some weapons and shit out of.
Pacifist on the murder mission. Got it.
It's not. This is not the murder mission.
It's retrieval.
This is just a
Retrieval
let's
mission.
find
Treasure.
stuff mission.
He's just like a real like asshole Indiana Jones.
I don't know who else I really want.
I mean, I think based on the way we set this up, I think Twilight's Iridia seems like should be somehow involved in this.
She's like trying to like con them out of the. She's like, no, that's not valuable, and then she's like putting it in her pocket.
Has ours Mathos gone on anything yet?
Fortnite's Mathos.
Fortnite Mathos.
No, he has. He could be in on this. I would buy that.
We could use his
athleticism
to carry a lot of shit.
Awesome. So Moments Mathos, Siderial Zahida, Twilight's Iridia, and Fortnite's Mathos. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, set the scene. Where are we, and what are we doing?
You don't want to bring Day Springs Iridia so that she can tell you how much stuff. Huh?
Murder me with kind words.
No, she's there. She's there to appraise gemstones.
She's gonna
and
gossip
whatnot.
for you. She's like, oh my god, the lady Montreal. Yeah, she totally had one of these back in.
I think you should take her, honestly.
We have like an idea of where any sort of treasure room is. 'Cause that's where we're going.
I mean,
so there's that old city that was overrun by like those birds when we were down there, right?
that's in the that was the wrong thing to. In the Tower of Ascension, yes. There was also the Tower of Ascension was the one that there were those like sort of puzzle rooms in, with the little like totems and that kind of thing. So I could see a case for either tower basically.
I think I want to go Dissension.
Great.
So we do that.
Okay, so we are looking around in the Tower of Ascension. Are we up towards the upper parts of it, or down lower?
I think the upper parts make more sense to me because just like any society, there's the upper class and the lower class, and the people that have money live higher.
Sure. I guess here's the thing we should kind of decide, and I'm open to deciding this as a group. So, when we were playing through these the first time, basically, if we're talking about the Tower of Ascension, as we went down, things got more and more decayed and darker and darker. and then the sort of the opposite with the Tower of Ascension. It went up and up. It got lighter and lighter, and the creature things got bigger and bigger. Do we think that's something that is like relative to your position in the tower, or is that like some sort of weird like day and night cycle that continues on no matter where you are?
Yeah, no, I made the assumption that they actually went through like cycles, because there was a part where it was like, oh, the darker it gets, you can like, it's possible for you to take some damage here if you get attacked by these things, or the lighter it gets, you hit
Well, there
a
was
patch of sunlight and something happens, or whatever.
yeah, there was like sunlight moving.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that was all just assumptions that we made, and maybe it is all relative to your position, but there's still like patches of cold and decay. But
Yeah. I mean, I guess here's the question to ask though. What is the more interesting version of that?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the idea that they went through their own
Okay.
separate cycles in a way that, like, once the sun sets on one side, it rises in the other,
So it's
etc.
they're always sort of in sort of parallel opposite of each other.
Right.
They're always like on the other side of the wheel, basically.
Yes.
Cool. So then it's a thing where you can go lower in the Tower of Ascension safely when it's daytime, but it starts to get nasty anywhere in that tower at nighttime. Is that the
Yeah. I think that's
dope?
kind of cool.
I dig it. So, great. So we're in the Tower of Ascension, and we're looking around for stuff. Scott, is that how this is going?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Well, lead us in.
We go? We go look for stuff.
Okay. What's happening? Started off with Moments Mathos like doing something.
I think he's just kind of leading this group of four, and just using his expertise in finding loot and searching, those hidden places, finding those hidden shelves or whatnot.
So
I guess I don't know what you're looking for. I'm not a storyteller.
no, no. So I mean,
It's not my game
Did
type.
you
I'm
say
sorry.
something?
So, because the sort of the way that this is working here is that since we're not like I said, we're not like rolling dice or anything, so we are, kind of explaining what's happening as we're sort of doing it. I guess here's a kind of starting part. What do you think could be the things sort of we're running up against here as we're trying to do this? What are the sort of the problems that we're running into doing it?
I think a lot of it is going to be just how like run down this place is,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to actually traverse through these buildings is not going to be easy by
Yeah.
any means.
Well, especially when it gets darker, because if we're going sort of day-night cycle, the way that it worked, we were in the tower is during the daytime when you guys were at the top of it, everything was like perfectly pristine, and then as it got darker and darker, everything started to sort of decay and crumble. So are we going out here during the daytime?
Yes,
Okay,
for
great.
sure.
And how is the search going during the daytime here?
I think it goes okay. It's easier to move about because we can actually see and we don't have to deal with the birds and the cold and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think a lot of this is kind of run down. So it's slow going.
Sure. Great. So, yeah, let's jump into this. So I think as we're all jumping around, Fortnite's Mathos is is definitely the one sort of going out of his way to like try and jump up on uh, hard to reach places and things like that. um, and I think he looks up and makes note of the position of the sun, and says, "Is it? Does this seem to be moving faster to anyone else? This does not seem like a normal cycle in here. Or am I just going crazy?"
Nothing about these towers is normal.
I mean, sure, but look, all I'm saying is I think we should try and hurry this up a little bit. And then, oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
There's like a moment where like maybe they're like climbing up like a wall, like a broken wall or something, and she like Sidereal Zahida like reaches down behind her to offer Moments Mathos like a hand up.
He stares at it for a moment and then accepts it.
Now, see, that's what I like to see. We're getting the teamwork going here. Come on, guys. Look, this is great.
And moment ruined. I say I agree. We should perhaps keep the sun in mind. I don't want to be out here with those things.
I have a question.
What?
Why am I even here?
Look, you said you knew the value of things on site. I mean, look, we're trying to find stuff out here. If you're not going to be useful to the group,
What? I'm not going to be useful to the group. What?
look,
Iridia, I think you're very useful. Come help me look at this thing over here. And I like try to like shoo her off to like the side.
You know I am a genius, right? Just because I didn't go to school like the rest of them.
You
I
are
don't believe you.
incredible.
Fine. I'll follow you.
I think at that moment, sort of as it's starting to get a little bit darker and darker, I think Fortnite's Massos like shouts out. He's like, "Hey, guys, come over here and check this out." And he is looking over towards this wall, and he's found that as the wall has started to decay a little bit with the sun going down or starting to go down, and like a little like plants and stuff are starting to grow. There is now a gap in the wall, and it's revealing like a sort of a hidden room or something in the building that he was looking through. And inside there are some like
Untold riches.
untold riches. There's some like medals on the wall and some like weird yeah, just like things about some of the stuff in the interior that look sort of weird and that might be valuable or of interest. And he's like looking in and he's like, Twilight's Viridia, look, is that? Can you see that in there? Is that those like medals on the wall? Is that stuff valuable?
Oh, wait, sorry. I wasn't paying attention. This is Iridia talking, not AJ, because AJ obviously was paying attention.
Look. All right, look. As the sun started to move a little bit, this place decays, you know how it does? It's like weird, I don't know, whatever. Look. But the decay in the wall, there's like another like secret room or something in there? I don't know, but look at all this stuff on the wall in there. Is that like kind of whack?
Is there a way to get closer? Can we get inside?
Look. I mean, I'm good at like jumping around and stuff, but I don't know that I'm necessarily the one with the strongest arms here.
I crack my fingers, and she, cracks her neck and is like, "I will move this, but if there is any
She
large
cracked
amount of
everything.
if there's any large amount of stuff to carry," and I turn towards Moments Mathos, I say, we should perhaps just take the first things that we see and come back another day. We don't have a lot of time.
It's fine.
All right,
At least we know the location.
Sounds good to me. Let's get in there.
I move the wall or whatever it is that I'm. She's pacifist, Zahida, but like like
Still a blacksmith.
Arnold Schwarzenegger pacifist. Like she's still like really buff.
Yeah, cool. And I mean, I think that sounds like scene there. So they find some stuff. And we know a little bit more about how the tower works here. So we've got Eric and AJ left for scenes. Either of you have anything?
I mean, I've got an idea, but it involves a lot of just my character talking to my secondary characters.
What's
Eric's
your
tired.
what's your idea for that? Because maybe we can sort of like say that conversation basically happened and then go on to an action from what happened there. So like I said, we only have 2 scenes left till we decide till we go through a thing to decide whether or not this whole first challenge succeeds or does not. So we want to make sure that we're doing stuff here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, my idea was, because I think there's a very one-faceted idea of like what Fawit is actually does, like any of them, where it's just like murder, 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 stabby, stabby. But they're actually like their primary duty was to actually gain information on people that there was suspected like wrongdoing from.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of thinking like she would talk to them, have like a few stay back to help her set up the camp and everything, or the essentially like trauma bay.
Yeah.
But then she was gonna be like the majority. She was gonna send out and be like, with all these groups, just be like, do this the Alardan way, follow them, make sure they don't see you, and make sure they all come back.
Yeah, cool. So I'm like I said, I'm cool with letting that conversation basically have happened,
Yeah.
and then sort of going on from there.
Because like halfway in my mind it's like in all these other scenes, like at the end of it, if the camera would stay there, you just see like a couple of shadows and be
Out
like,
of the
oh.
shadows, yeah. Yeah, totally. So then let's get a scene from Moonwise's for Wit or from Aeon's Iridia, and we want to be yeah, I think trying to because we still have to
Yeah.
sort of deal
Can,
with establishing safe paths.
can we do a scene in the portal that we just went through the gate, or does it need to be before that
What do you mean?
with Aeon's Iridia?
Oh, I
Oh,
mean,
when you guys went through the portal and all.
yeah, I think a lot of this is sort of abstracted time wise. So, in terms of like, we did that happened, and that was us sort of discovering how the the portals more or less worked. So that happened, and then we went on to do this other stuff. So that was a little, like a day or two ago at this point. Does that make sense?
So are we out of that now? Are we not
Yeah.
there anymore? So we already came back.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what we should sort of establish.
Okay, so then we can just like have another conversation about what we found.
Sure. Or even, I mean, even we can even take it further than that. So like, decide what we found, and then what are we doing about it from there.
You put post-it notes on each portal. It tells where it goes, when it goes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that part of that, in terms of the Iridia's sort of like figuring out, like, okay, when you go through this portal at this time or whatever, or in this order, then they send you there, and like sort of getting all that figured out and sort of tracked, to sort of have their own kind of map through this place, so that they know what they're doing there. I think is a perfectly legitimate and valid thing to be doing. Um, but like, I don't know that we necessarily like need to make a scene to say like, hey, we're having a discussion about how we're doing that. I think at this point I'd rather make sure we're doing actions there because of that. Like, maybe if we want to take a sort of tiny bit of a jump forward and say like, okay, now we've got that figured out, and now like, say Iridia's like, uh has a little bit of a forward base camp somewhere and is like doing something in one of the towers, or you know what I mean?
Okay. So why don't we set up another scene with both of the Bracks? Can we just run it back? The one that we did, the four of us? Well, actually, I think everybody might want to be in this one. Because I feel like the scene that I want to set up is, I don't know. I think we at this point we know where the portals or gates are taking us,
Mm-hmm.
but there are issues within the portals that need to be taken care of.
Like what?
So like, well, that's what I mean. Like in some there could be like something that needs to be killed, and in others it could just be like we can't get past this giant rock. So
So
like,
we have to set up specific like sessions for, okay, we can only clear this portal during this time of the week. So we have to wait till next Tuesday to go and kill all these quill or something.
right, like I think what Iridia would want to do is set up a plan, because she's very, that's the way that she works. So she needs all these leaders to say, okay, this is my idea. Let's put all of the killer fwits on killing duty, and let's put all our strong boys and girls on moving things out of the way duty,
Mm-hmm.
with plan with the other Iridias, building to help make things easier.
Sure.
We have a dungeon schedule.
Yeah. So do we want to? How do you want to set up this scene specifically then?
So I imagine all of us like around almost like a war table.
Okay. Where is that?
in a tower.
Do you want to? So is this like at our base camp, or like I said, do we have like a kind of like a forward camp, like in it somewhere?
Yeah, I think we have one in it somewhere that's like established, and like there's a route to it, so we figured that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's like always a gate open to the chamber.
Oh yeah, totally. Because that's like a kind of a safe spot to
Yeah,
in
it like
a way.
never moves.
Mm-hmm. That's like fixed. Totally. So is that where we have like our kind of forward camp set up here in the chamber of Horizontal Conjunction?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So that's on these sort of bridges in this big vertical chamber. There's right. I guess AJ, you didn't get this. So basically, the way this is set up is it's like this sort of big kind of internal, like inside of a tower space, like a big cylinder that sort of just like disappears off in both directions. And there's two bridges in the middle, and they're upside down in relation to each other. So like if you're standing on one and someone is standing on the other one, it looks like they're walking on the ceiling. And at the middle of these two, there's these little pools of water with these logs that are on fire with this white fire that doesn't burn the logs up. And it just sort of like the little like sparks and bits of the water sort of like shoot basically back and forth between the two fires, like goes up to the one and little bits come back and whatever. So it's this very kind of still, quiet place in here, in these bridges.
Okay.
So all 12 or all 6?
All 6.
Okay, so Black Masses Brack, Moments Mathos, Moonrises Fawit, Eventide Zahida, Aeons Iridia, and Tomorrow's Brack. Is that what you want?
Yeah, I want the whole crew.
The whole crew.
Let's do it, gang.
All right. Cool. All right. I don't know how we all got put in charge here, but somehow it's this group of 6. Now, each of us brings something different and unique to the table. So I'm going to need everyone's help to execute our plans on making this place safe. So I need we need to get our groups of people together to work with each other and help us succeed as best as we can.
I think as you're saying that, I think Tomorrow's Brack is sort of standing off to the side of the table and just sort of like looking at you and sort of smiling a little bit because you're sort of giving him a little bit of that thing he wants from you right now, and he likes it. In terms of that, like that more external leadership.
Right.
Tomorrow's Brack has a boner.
First
Got it.
speech.
Great. Sorry, now that I've interrupted that. um. Yeah, I think Tomorrow's Bracket, I think, is the next one to speak up. So Moments Mathos has been leading his group of treasure hunters and finding materials. Black Masses Brack has been
Smiles.
Black Masses Brack has been leading forays into the more difficult territories, and Moonrises Fawid has been taking care of those that need it, and Eventide Zahida has been helping coordinate efforts to make sure everything is running smoothly. I think, despite what we thought was going to happen here, I think somehow we are coming together.
Time for something horrible to happen.
Mm.
I think it would be wise to do the guard rotation in on this. I know that their job is mostly to protect the hall in a way, but the more people that we send on these trips to kill things, the better.
I agree. I think the more we can subdue what we don't understand, and the more we can know and map what we do not know here, the less we have need of people to guard the gates from the inside.
Say perhaps we should do it one at a time in order of by gate time perhaps, and we should send a healer with them. And I look at Fawit. Question mark.
I mean, that would take me training people. Look at me, I'm an elderly pensioner. I can't go with every group.
She was elderly.
Perhaps training is a wise course of action. It seems that at least some of the Bracks, according to how would they even refer to the main people?
Prime or the first ones or something like that.
Like, because I know
The-
we've already expressed, some of us have already expressed some disdain for the main people, so I don't know that they would assign them these they are the first ones.
You know, the other ones.
the freed. We're all trapped here, and they're the free ones.
what's the opposite of anchored?
Tethered.
The drifting.
The
The
drift.
adrift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some version of that is good.
Like the loose or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, the loosed.
The loosed.
Think we're all, none of us are in.
Unbound.
Yeah, yeah. There's something in there. Maybe I'll have to think on it. But if the Unbound Brack is anything to judge by, there is some manner of aptitude for surgical caretaking. Perhaps we can look there. I, for one, would be happy to learn anything I can do to help.
We all have to have a CPR class, like what we did in high school.
And then
We
we
need
have
to have
address
a CPR class in high school.
what's
didn't
the
have
racial
that?
training courses?
Sensitivity training.
Now I set up a medical college and charge exorbitant tuition.
Called Fawit University. No one who goes there actually learns anything.
They just learned. No, they just learned how to kill people. That's it. All the ways you can murder. 100 ways to kill a man. 101.
If you know how to kill them, you know how to save them.
Exactly.
You must learn how to kill to know how to save.
Lesson number 1.
For what is saving but not killing?
Great. Does anybody else have anything for this scene?
Come on, Moments Mathos has to say something snarky, right?
He doesn't talk a lot.
Oh, you're right. He just looks bored.
Great. Does Black Mess's Brack have anything to add?
I think he just says, I can organize further forays into the towers, that we can continue our campaign against the monsters.
Make it so.
And then we do it.
All right. Okay, so that was AJ. So we just have Eric left. One more scene.
I don't know how to advance what we're trying to do with my 70-year-old
Technically,
woman.
it'd be like ending it, right?
Yeah, I mean, can be kind of whatever.
Just a horrific.
There's a really bad accident, and everybody learns how to become medics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally a possibility if we want to sort of introduce something, that either some big accident or something like that, because we haven't seen any of that kind of side of anything.
I almost want to say something happens to tomorrow's Brack,
Ooh, I like it.
so I can start working on my want towards you.
Ah, okay. So do we want to be sort of in it with what happens here, or like just after? What's this scene look like?
I think what I'm kind of thinking of is, I think you try to, or tomorrow's Brack tries to do something by themselves without talking to anyone, and they do get hurt.
Okay.
And Fouette's little thing she set up with the dusk, you get hurt, but essentially get like drugged back by one of the dusk.
Oh, okay. So then the scene is coming back through the gate into the base camp.
Yeah, or you're like I've already started like treating you, I guess,
Okay.
patching you up.
Great. So who's in the scene?
I think obviously you or tomorrow's Brack. And that might just be it. I'm not sure.
Is there anybody else that thinks they, like hearing the news of this or something, might want to sort of get in here?
You could. I mean, I don't know how serious you want the scene to be, but you could always be like, oh, like Dayspring Iridia, like she like somebody was like, okay, you have to do something useful, and so she's like, oh, fine, I'll go, like help
Is she
fold
one of the?
bandages or
Is
something.
she one of the ones learning
And
how to? Is she one of the ones learning from Moonrise's
like
foot?
basically like got forced into like learning how
Yeah.
to be a medic, and so she's just like, in the tent folding bandages and like organizing like herbs and shit.
Yeah. How does that sound to you, Chris?
I'm into it.
Oh. Okay. So Daysprings Iridia is in here. Anybody else?
I think there could almost be an argument for Evantide's Zahida, just because she's another one of the leader characters,
Mm-hmm.
and she's trying to build a community.
In a
And
similar vein.
yeah, tomorrow's Brack being, sort of irresponsible and putting himself in danger when he's looked at as a leader.
Yeah.
Sets
is
a
she
bad precedent.
Is she like pissed about that? Are you mad at him?
I mean, probably a little bit, but more of like, I get it. I'm tired too.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's do it then. So this is so we say just after he's been started to be treated.
Yeah. So the way I'll start this is look, tomorrow's Breck, you can't keep doing this. I know you've barely been sleeping, you've barely been taking a break to eat, and now you do this. And look what happened. You're setting the precedent that's creating the individual spirit among all the people in this camp. I need you to think of everyone else and how what you're doing looks to them.
I am
Zahida
doing...
like Zahida like bursts in like through the tent, and she's like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
I am doing nothing but thinking of everyone else.
That might be how it is in your mind. Why did you go alone?
It had to be done.
By you? And only you?
By someone. We are we are stretched thin here as it is.
And
you
if
would
you die,
stretch
we'll
us
be even
thinner?
more. Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, and you would stretch us even thinner? I know that there is progress, but this group is held together by the thinnest of threads. The only thing that is truly keeping us together is our survival. And if you die, there is a hole here that will not be filled. There is a reason you are in the position you are in.
I am no great figure here.
Wrong.
Whether you like it or not, people look to you. Whether it's other Bracks or Iridias, Mathoses, probably not Fwits. People look to you for leadership, and they follow an example you set. If you keep doing this, what's to stop any of the others?
There was a rumor going around that you couldn't even be hurt. I just can't wait to tell
Oh,
people that that
good
wasn't
lord.
true.
Iridia, go get bandages.
And tomorrow's Brack just dies. I am content to call that scene.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, well, that is our 6 scenes. So now we finish the challenge. After every player has made one scene for the challenge, we see if the fellowship succeeded or failed. If this is the first challenge or not, so it doesn't matter. We will draw stones to determine the outcome and then narrate the results. Sometimes the outcome will surprise us, but even when it's not what we expected or wanted, it's our job to explain it. Interpreting those unexpected results can push our story in exciting new directions we wouldn't have thought of on our own. So, for the first and second challenge, draw. Failing the first 2 challenges doesn't mean the quest fails, it just means we have to work harder later to succeed. Basically what's going to happen is it's going to be talking about stones, red and white stones here. The way that I've seen this done on Roll20 is maybe we should just do it and then it'll make sense. So we start with no stones. Start with no stones in the pool. Add 1 white and 1 red. Each player takes 2 red stones. Okay. If your main character is unhappy about the path the Fellowship has taken, hold 1 red stone. If your main character actually wants the quest to fail, hold 2 red stones, otherwise hold no stones. So 1 stone, 1 red if your main character is unhappy about the path that we've taken, and 2 if your main character actively wants the quest to fail. So everyone, without hitting enter and sending, just type in 0, 1, or 2 into the chat, and then I'll say, and we'll all hit enter at the same time. Does that make sense?
What is 0?
0 is if neither of those two apply to you. So if your main character is happy and wants the quest to succeed still, then 0, then hold 0.
1 is if you're happy.
One if you're holding 1 red stone, it's if your main character is unhappy about the path the Fellowship has taken during this challenge.
Okay.
And that's the character specifically, your main character. Okay, does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Yep.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, enter. Wow. Even Mathos? Oh wait, Brack. Okay, there we got 1 from Brack. Okay, so we have 1 more redstone from Brack. I was wondering if I was going to see 1 from Mathos or not.
Hey, he's
I'm
getting
not
money.
unhappy because they let me go for money.
That's
I
true.
mean,
That's
it's-
true.
I almost did a 1 because it seemed like we were taking a lot of risks, but
what's the 1 from you, Brack, about?
That we've
Chris.
put Moments Mathos in charge of anything.
Good. Okay, so
I'm
then
not sure why I'm not allowed to be in charge of things.
Because literally you'd kill your entire team if it meant you got to take home everything.
You don't know that.
I know your type.
You don't.
Okay, so then part 2. So everybody takes. So the options here are white or red. So we'll do W and R. As a player, not your character, as a player, do you think the Fellowship did what was necessary to succeed at the challenge? White if yes, red if no. So W or R, or white or red or whatever. Okay. Everybody ready?
yep.
Okay,
Yep.
here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, and that's.
Can I get a W in the chat?
A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so put the stones in a cup without looking. Draw 1 stone, reveal it, then draw a second. Don't put the first stone back in before drawing the second. Look up your results on the describe the outcome table. So what's going to happen is, so we've got in our total pool, we've got 2 red stones and 7 white stones. So I'm going to roll a D9. And 1 and 2, a roll of a 1 or a 2 is a red stone. Anything else is a white stone.
Mm,
Does that make sense?
I just don't like grouping those numbers together, but it doesn't really matter. Odds are the same.
It's
either
odds
way.
are the same. Yeah. It's the
I know, I
lower
just don't
numbers
like
are
it.
bad.
I just
So,
don't like it.
1 or
One
2. 1 and 2
1
is
and
red.
4. 1 and
I
4 are
I
red.
really don't like it because I don't trust Roll20's algorithm because it likes to throw low numbers out a lot.
It does. It fucks us all the time.
Well, all right, here we go.
1
so,
and 9. 1 and 9 are red.
Oh god, don't do that either. It's always either max or nothing.
Okay, so 1 and 2 are red, and 3 through 9, right? I had this right. So 7 white and 2 red is 9, right? Yeah. Okay.
If we fucking fail this roll, the Roll20 guides were listening in on this
Yeah, fuck
on
you,
this
Roll20.
session, and they were like, you know what? Let's kick them while they're down.
So basically, the way this works is we're going to do this twice, so we're going to end up with 2 stones. And the color of those 2 stones determines the outcome of the challenge, basically. And it's
Roll it.
it's different
my
if we
God.
have
Jesus.
it's different if we had red white as opposed to white red. So yeah, but anyway, here we go. That's a 3. Okay, so that's a white. And then now we're going to roll, since we take that one out, we are going to roll a d8, and 1 and 2 are still red. Here we go. 7! So 2 whites for our first challenge. Describe the outcome. White, white. Win the challenge.
You won!
Yay!
So we have successfully established safe paths and dealt with dangerous wildlife through the towers. So we basically now have kind of more or less kind of free reign in here. Hooray!
So like all of our main characters gain a level, right?
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
2 levels actually.
Oh, dope.
You get to increase one of your stats by 1. Great. So that was our first challenge. Does that kind of make sense to everybody how all that works now that we've done that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think then I think we should be able to get this done in one more session since we have all the character stuff out of the way, which took a while. So we'll come back next time and do our other 2 challenges and see what happens. But yeah. Hey, this was cool. Cool and fun. All right. Well, that'll do it for us. And we still came in just over 3.5 hours, which is great. So we'll see you all next time. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, we have 3 people watching. Are all 3 of them us? I forget it. Maybe I have a stream up here. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another game later. I forget if I've updated the schedule or not. Whatever. Okay, great. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.